Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is Challenger Approaching, the show that features challenge runs and the runners that perform them. Gamers, we have a very special show for you tonight. Of course, I am Adef, as always, your loud host. Just a couple announcements before we get started. If you're watching on YouTube, head over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick to check out our live shows. For more information, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. If you missed out on any GDQ Hotfix VODs over the past couple weeks, months, years, there is tons of content. Head to youtube.com/gamesdonequick to check out an archive of our weekly shows. And after tonight's Challenger Approaching, we will have a 5-year anniversary special for Tales of Berseria. Now, gamers, this is Challenger Approaching. I am Adef, and I am joined tonight by X Will Mark the Place and Floosh. Hello, gamers.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
So we have Ocarina of Time on tonight, and this is a race format that is very near and dear to my heart and to so many runners in the Ocarina of Time community. This is bingo. So if you look in the bottom middle of your screen, you will see a layout of 5x5 goals. Now, the text on stream very happily introduces that this is not the actual board. This is just a sample board that we're showing to you. And so basically, at the start of the race, our two runners will be presented with a 5x5 card of randomly generated goals. And the goal is to bingo, whether it be a diagonal, a horizontal, a vertical, or row, column, diagonal. You just got to complete 5 in-line goals. And our runners are experienced and will go into sort of the selection process. But I'll leave it to Floosh and X will really quick to explain sort of, the how this tournament came to be and what this tournament is.
Yeah, so this is basically the second bingo tournament that we're holding in this format. We started one last year in 2020. Floosh and I decided it was time for a big hype event for Ocarina of Time Bingo. And yeah, it's been going really well. We started the tournament with a phase where all the players played each other and got points. And based on your points, you were like ranked against people that have the same amount of points as you. So that kind of results in pretty hype matches. And the top 16 of those rounds got to a normal tournament bracket, and that's the part of the tournament we're now in. And the first round of that is also done, so now we are left with the top 8 of the whole bingo community. And yeah, so today we're going to see the quarters final match.
Yeah, so today we are having 2 of the top 8 players, two of the 8 best players of bingo in Ocarina of Time. So yeah, it's we're gonna watch a pretty exciting match. 2 exciting matches.
Yeah, we have a second match after this. So we're first going to showcase Average Greg versus Exodus, 2 very, very hype names in the world of bingo. And then afterwards, we'll have Tomato versus Lake OOT, 2, again, really incredible runners. I mean, you've got to be really quite talented to make it to the top 8 and really dedicated. So I think if we're feeling ready, I'll go ahead and give the gamers the go-ahead to start their race. Floosh, X-Will, you good?
Yep.
We're good.
Go. I can't wait.
I know, I'm very excited, and I'll give the countdown as it happens. Okay, all right. So we've got about 10 seconds remaining, and then we'll have the actual board. So the board appears at the first second of gameplay via a bot in the race channel. And so our players will be seeing this board for the first time right now. Sort of the same way that you might see a randomizer seed for the first time when the game starts. But that's the last comparison we're going to make to randomizer. Okay, so you can see our 2 players just started, and our tech is pulling up the board, and there it is. And X-Will, Floosh, and I also have the board open, or at least I do. And I guess now would be a good time to sort of talk about row choice. So when the board comes up, the first thing that we as bingo players will do is we will look at all of the goals sort of in conjunction with one another, because it's not just about finding goals that you like, but also finding rows that you like.
Yeah, so there is an important aspect in bingo is synergy. So yeah, as Adolf just said, you might want to have some goals that work well together. So even if they look pretty long on their own, maybe the synergy of them is gonna make the row look quite fast. So that's the kind of stuff you wanna look for when you're trying to pick a row for your bingo.
There's also sort of the interesting thing that I think doesn't get talked about a lot when it comes to bingo routing, but definitely something everybody does, which is that there are some goals that players favor. There are goals that people like and dislike. For instance, I really detest green gauntlets, personally. um, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just a goal I don't like to play. But yeah.
Yeah, usually some people like to. You can actually check some goals in different colors to kind of organize your plan, what you want to do. And some people like to just check in red the goals they don't like at all. So yeah, as you said, yeah, green gauntlets is also a goal I don't like. So if I see any green gauntlets on the board, I'm just gonna mark it red, and I know I don't want to do any row which has that goal.
Are there any
Yes, and
rows,
also,
Xwill, that you like so far?
oh, I haven't been able to check the rows very well. So we do see in the middle 8 silver rupee rooms. That is a pretty route heavy goal, and of course the goal in the middle will, is a part of more rows. So there's a lot of rows right now that have that goal. Um, let's see.
I don't hate row one, honestly.
Yeah, I was looking at
Um,
row one as well.
Yeah, it looks good.
that I mean, honestly, I also have been focusing on like everything else that's going on, so that was really the only row I've looked at. But I do like it. I do like it. And for instance, why we might like row one, it has very heavy fire synergy. So defeat Volvagia and Goron Tunic obviously synergize really nicely together. Beat Dodongo's Cavern is also right there, and that has you entering 2 dungeons already for 7 maps. And then 10 songs is a goal we can go into if it happens, but it's not as nuts as it may seem. It is actually pretty standard these days. We've got
Yeah,
people in the chat saying they like BLTR or bottom left to top right. Map and Compass Fire, Ganon's Castle Boss Key, 8 silver rupees, 15 skulls, and 10 songs. I like that too. There's a lot of silver rupee rooms on route there.
Yeah.
I think Silver
Two
Rupee Room is
rooms.
quite a scary goal, to be honest.
I would agree with that.
Especially since it's quite new in the meta.
Also, you'll see our players are already diverging quite heavily. Exodus has gone and picked up the Kokiri sword, whereas Greg has gone straight to the Kokiri shop to pick up the Deku stick. So it is likely they are choosing 2 different rows because both of them are on version 1.2, I believe, which is the Wii Virtual Console. Well, it's also released on N64 and other platforms.
Well, Exodus is actually playing on emulator.
So is he on 1.0 or 1.2? He has to be on 1.2, right?
I'm not sure, but he's not allowed to use version exclusive stuff. So
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's playing on 1.2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So both of our players are on 1.2, which means that being swordless does not afford Exodus the ability to do a trick called blank A, which would get him well choose a little bit faster than Greg. So Exodus is, or pardon me, the other way around. Greg looks like he may be going right, like adult right away, perhaps.
Yep.
And he's doing a trick here called Aqua Escape. This is one of the earliest forms of exiting the forest early. Having a little bit of trouble here, but hopefully he'll be able to get it done. And he's in.
It is pretty important to talk about what is allowed here. So practically all glitches are allowed in Ocarina of Time Bingo. So almost any trick you can think of, you can do. There's just a few exceptions. The main exception is that SRM is completely banned because it would be incredibly broken. And then there's a few version exclusive things that are not allowed. It's a bit niche stuff. So
Yeah.
You can just think that all the glitches are allowed.
Yeah, essentially every glitch is allowed. SRM is this like pretty wild trick that you may have seen in GDQs that allows you to get items super early, and like Hexwell said, that kind of takes the whole point out of bingo, which is routing. And so that's banned, and then some version exclusive stuff basically.
Yeah. Be aware though that there's also this reverse bottle adventure, which we'll probably talk about more later, which is also a way to get items uh, early and to manipulate what items you have. So like there's pretty broken things still happening in bingo that can be a little confusing when you're watching for the first time.
Okay, so Exodus is doing top left to bottom right, and Greg is doing column 5.
So yeah, we're gonna see the RBA that we were just mentioning. In both rows, actually, it's gonna be very deep RBA.
Also,
Yes.
apologies for average Greg's internet. I'm sure it will stabilize eventually, but the good news is we've got 2 runners, so in case one of them starts dropping frames or anything, you can always peek on over to the other stream.
Yeah. So basically, right now they are both getting a bottle because it's the most broken item in Ocarina of Time. If you've seen speedruns of Ocarina of Time, you should know that you can do almost every big glitch requires a bottle. So reverse bottle adventure, wrong drops, which are the main ones. So yeah, it's definitely a good item to get early on.
And I think definitely something that's worth noting is that this is quite a big stage for the bingo tournament to be played on, and there is a non-zero amount of nerves, I would imagine, for both of these players. Playing on the GDQ stage is always stressful, regardless of what you're doing, and this is a tournament setting, no less, and their tournament life is on the line because this is a single elimination bracket. So whichever player loses here is out of the tournament. Here in the top 8 of the bracket stage. So definitely some nerves. We've seen some flubbing from Greg, kind of non-characteristic of him to be messing up Cuckoos and Aqua Escape. So, we'll have to see how our players handle the pressure.
Yeah, I hope Greg is not too conscious about the internet issue and he's not trying to like he's not being he's still focusing on the game instead of
Yeah, exactly.
the internet.
That's a very good point. It is sort of, in these race formats, if your internet's screwing up a little bit, it's like, it's okay, but because it's on the GDQ stream, hopefully that's not adding any stress here. And it looks like Exodus is going to bottom of the well, likely for a silver rupee room, and that's it. I think that's pretty standard for 8 silver rupee rooms. I don't think we'll see him grab choose here.
No, I don't think anyone is gonna get choose. That would require Vine Clip, which is quite a difficult glitch to perform.
Yeah, and I mean they're both going so deep into RBA that it's
yeah, they are gonna get bombs anyway.
Yeah, so there's actually only 6 gold rupee chests in the game, and bottom of the well has one of them. So there will be only 1 gold rupee chest that Greg will be skipping. So he has to get almost all of them.
I'd imagine you skip the fire temple probably in this row.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. 10 songs will put you close to GDG, Gerudo's training grounds, where there's also gold rupee. So that's probably the longer one he will get.
And then, so Greg has done a glitch here called Actor Glitch, where he opened a door in bottom of the well when he was still in the camera angle from the cutscene of coming out of a crawl space. And then he was able to move away from the door before it pulled him into the next room. So it loads the actors and objects of the next room, but you are able to walk around the collision of the first room, which is really nice because there is water in bottom of the well that you're supposed to lower with Zelda's Lullaby. But our players do not have Zelda's Lullaby yet. And so Greg was able to get to the dead hand room and get the gold rupee chest much earlier than intended. And yes, players are allowed to see each other's streams in the bingo tournament. That is not forbidden in the rule set. The reason being that it's not really beneficial at all. Given that this is not a randomizer, it really, I mean, if you're going off your competitor's stream, you're inherently behind.
Yeah, there's not much information to get out of it. Like, if you're gonna look at what route you're gonna do, you're gonna be already so much behind. And there's, it's not like randomizer where you want to find out some secret, like where is this item? It's all set on vanilla, of course. So yeah, it's not a huge deal. And the only thing some runners like to, maybe if they see they're behind, they might start going for riskier strats to make up some time. But that's about it.
I think two interesting things to note. The first of which is that Exodus jumped onto the bridge chain to get rupees and then was like, nope. Probably just, tournament setting, not wanting to even mess with it. Also, Greg just did a trick there that goes by many names. Castle Before Night is what I knew it as best, but I keep hearing Schrodinger's Chain lately, which is very fun. Basically, he never looks at the chain, and so it goes up, but it's not really up, but it is kind of. And when you get on the chain that is lower, you are instantly moved upwards when you load the chain by looking at it. And also, Greg pretty far behind, even though he elected not to get the sword, which in theory should be faster. So definitely some mess ups in Child 1 here.
But also Greg had to get the gold rupee chest, which is probably a bit longer than the silver rupee room.
That's fair. I don't think it loses too much time, especially since Greg got Actor Glitch first try. Maybe 30 seconds? Maybe probably less.
Sure, exactly, but...
And both runners are also completely done already with things they want to do as child link. So yeah, as you can see, Exodus already did Door of Time skip and became adult, and Greg is doing that right now. So it's a very common thing in bingo. Like a lot of goals can be done as adult and are also faster as adult. So it's quite common to quickly, go to Temple of Times, skip past the door, and go adult, because of course you don't want to do all of the 3 child dungeons before you go.
So it's a shame that bingo is played in Japanese, because now we cannot read the lore during the cutscenes.
So bingo was played on English for many years, and that was just the standard. The idea when bingo was first conceived was that playing on English meant the most players could access the game, because the idea behind bingo was we wanted as many people as possible to play. But as the years have gone by and the Japanese version has become much easier to obtain, it has become less of a barrier, and the argument then became, well, the Japanese version is way faster and will make bingos, on the whole, way easier to do. So we ended up switching.
And I'm actually, like, at first I wasn't too happy about it, but now I'm glad we switched, because a lot of people that already speedrun the game also joined the bingo community after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Greg actually started playing bingos around that time when we switched to
Yeah.
Japanese.
There are lots of RTA players hopping the pond these days, I think. I personally was happy for it to switch to J just because of Lax. That was it. I was pleased.
Like Skake.
Okay, excellent. So Exodus is out of the adult cutscene. So they did Door of Time skip, like X Will said. Greg's Door of Time skip was just slightly more difficult because he doesn't have a sword, which means he had to do swordless dot skip, as we call it. But both very standard tricks to get the Master Sword. And then the Master Sword cutscene itself is several minutes long and affords you, it used to afford you even more time to route on English, but now on Japanese it affords you a little less time, but still a good amount of time to route how you want to do the adult segment. The good news is both of these players are very seasoned, very, very good at what they do. And so the route for RBA, or Reverse Bottle Adventure, is pretty standard in the beginning of most adult segments in Bingo these days. And we'll definitely be seeing very deep RBA from both players.
Yeah, so basically the next 20 minutes are gonna be very similar for both of the players, and it's gonna diverge, yeah, around the 35th minute mark, I guess, because of the long quest of Reverse Bottle Adventure.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to see is them doing the trade quest. So maybe if you remember the game, there's this side quest where you trade items until you eventually get the big bronze sword. Well, those items can be used in this reverse ball adventure glitch to get a lot of handy things early. Most importantly, uh, you can get a few songs by using those items, and that will be very helpful for 10 songs for Greg's goal. And Exodus will actually want to trade to uh, get light arrows eventually. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, we'll go into the nitty gritty of RBA. Uh, Danny B. Sensei has taught us all with his long YouTube documentaries on all the bit conversion and binary addition. The bottom line is funky stuff's gonna happen on the B button. But again, so we're out of the adult cutscene for Exodus here, and he's gonna head straight to Kakariko. He doesn't have a shield, which might change his routing slightly. I don't know if he likes to do graveyard before or after the save warp, but I guess he's gonna have to do it before the save warp this time.
Yeah, I expect him to get the shield and then save warp.
So Exodus is going to pick up bugs here, which having something in your bottle is going to be very good for reasons that we will explain, like we said, just in a little bit here. And then he's going to start the adult trade sequence Exwell was talking about by getting the pocket egg. Someone in the chat asks, is there a difference between N64 and Virtual Console version except loading times? Floosh, you want to take that?
Well, in Bingo, you're not gonna see a lot of differences because, as we said, most of the version exclusive glitches are actually banned. But there is actually a shift in the meta because there is actually one important V1.0 glitch that's not banned and which can change actually the kind of rows you wanna go for. So as we saw in bottom of the well, you can get bomb shoes, and on N64 there is a glitch that allows you to get them in quite a fast way, faster than on VC. So you might want to get bomb shoes early on N64, but that's the main that's the main difference between N64 and VC for Bingo.
There's also save warp times. You'll notice that Exodus, when he save warps, he's pretty much straight away back into the game, whereas Greg will need to read the classic controller text every time, or rather the garbled mess. Also, something to look at is that Exodus has a bomb icon on his C buttons, but he never picked up bombs. So when you go adult for the first time, the game sort of assumes what is a good adult equip, because obviously as child you're not going to have access to the same items as adult. And by that time in the game, you're supposed to have slingshot and boomerang, and adult Link is not supposed to have those items. So the game assumes you will have the ocarina, the Deku Nuts, and the bombs, I believe. And it auto equips the bombs to your C button, even though you don't have any. And this is actually super useful because as long as you never equip over bombs, you can, through means of RBA, get a fake bomb bag and then use bombs even though you never pick them up. Also, I'm just going to like rapid fire through RBA explanation real quick if that's cool with the both of you. Just like the really nitty gritty. Exodus is going to the water here, and the first thing that he's going to do is he's going to do something called Quick Draw. It is where Exodus is going to drop his bugs, and then he's going to pull out a bottle, and when he's jumping in the water, he will press B 1 or 2 frames before he hits the water. The game will attempt to pull the sword, but keep the bottle as what's in his hand. So the game will count his last item as his B button being used, but it will actually be the bottle. And he can overwrite his B button with the bottle. So he updated by catching bugs, and that writes onto his B button. Now, when he changes the value of his B button by dropping or catching something, the game points to his C write value, which currently is the bottled Poe. Now, the bottled Poe points to a different value in memory, which happens to be your bomb chew ammo count. So, when Exodus catches bugs on B with Poe on C right, this will point to his bomb chew ammo count and write the value of bottled bugs onto his ammo count. And the value of bottled bugs just so happens to be 29. So now Exodus has 29 bomb chew ammo count, but he never picked up chews, so that won't add to his chew count until he actually goes and gets chews later. And then the next thing he's going to do, and this is the real one, is he's going to do RBA, or Reverse Bottle Adventure, with a trade item on his C right button. Now, you could RBA anything on your C right, but the trade items are, for whatever reason, really powerful. So he's going to wake up Talon here, and then trade in for Kajiro. When he RBAs Kajiro, the blue chicken, everybody's favorite character, on C right, he will update a lot of things in his quest item, or pardon me, his equipment status screen. Notably, he will get a fake bomb bag 30, or 40, 30, right? 30 with bugs.
You get. Oh, that's a good question.
So first, actually, he's going to, by using clever equips to maneuver his C buttons, he's going to RBA his bombs, which just puts a bottle on his bomb slot. Then he will catch with Kajiro on C right. It's bomb bag 40. Okay, thank you. He will catch with Kajiro on C right. Now he has a glitched quiver that is value 20. So he hasn't gotten a bow, but he has a quiver. And he also has a bomb bag. And if he had strength, he would delete it. And if he had glitch strength, it would become black gauntlets, but that's not really important. And that's like the bottom line. He'll be doing more RBA, which is why he's keeping the bottle on his B button. He also can get bomb drops now, which is great. This is a method of early explosives, and now he's doing the Dampe race. I'm sorry for hogging the comms. Flush X will take it away.
That was a really good explanation, though. Thank you.
That was so clean.
Thanks.
So yeah, that was a question about getting stuff from Source. Yeah, you don't have to get the items from Source that are in the goals. You have to have them at the end, though, still, at the end of the bingo. And there are quite a few items that are kind of impossible to get not from Source, or that are slow to get from Source. Yeah.
Yeah, so typically the 10 songs, you're not gonna get them from Source.
you
definitely
imagine?
you definitely want to do Reverse Bottle Adventure to get most of them.
What was Exodus's Dampe time? I didn't see.
Oh, I missed it. Well, we can watch Greg's.
The race within the race.
Possibly make predictions.
Ooh. Oh. Wait.
I'm pretty bad at it. I'm gonna say 48.
I'm gonna say, has he hit any fire yet? Oh.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna say 50.
Rip to 48.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna ask Tech something.
So Greg didn't have ball on B, so he could do that little jump slash there that saves a tiny bit of time, so that's nice. If you have ball on B, then you cannot use your sword.
Yeah, I think very technically, like, Dampe Race should be slightly faster with a sword because you can skip a ledge, but that is really it. Okay, so Exodus and Greg are going to diverge a little bit here, probably. because Exodus is not going to go to Shadow Temple right now, and spending a bomb and not getting a bomb, always tragic. He cannot break the bushes with the sword as he does not have one at current. But Greg will likely do Shadow Temple now. Also, it looks like Greg, does he have Black Gauntlets? Yeah, okay, so Greg RBA'd the Pocket Cucko, and so like I mentioned, he updated his quest item inventory. Now, also we have a prediction going, Exodus or Greg to win the race in the chat room. Get your points in now. So Exodus RBA'd Kajiro and updated his bomb bag and his quiver. Greg RBA'd Pocket Cucko. Now, Pocket Cucko does some other stuff. It changes your strength value. So Greg now has a glitched strength value called Black Gauntlets, which is the same power as Gold Gauntlets. He also has the Adult Wallet, which holds 200 rupees. And these things are good largely because I think really just for Greg to also why 5 hearts. I was like, why is he getting a heart piece? Greg will be going into GTG later, and the gold rupee chest is behind a strength block. You can skip that strength block, but if you're already doing the trade sequence, I guess you might as well. And then Exodus is going to trade in Kajiro here for the Odd Mushroom, and this is really just to eventually get to the Poacher's Saw in the trade sequence. The Poacher's Saw specifically is really nice. Or no, for Exodus it'll be for Broken Sword, pardon me. But Greg will be looking for Poacher's Saw. And it looks like Greg also not going to Shadow right now because he's also going up to Poacher's Saw. So ignore everything I said.
I wonder why he equipped sword.
Yeah, I'm also curious about
that. It is for this rupee chest, so we can fight Redeads.
Oh, but you're back through here with Odd Potion. Oh, but
Then
you'd equip sword either way.
Yeah.
You could do this rupee chest after Shadow, I guess. But yeah, probably not worth to just do bottle and bead one more time.
It's quite awkward to route, actually. I never know what's better.
This one is always in the way because usually you won't be back here with your sword on B if you do the whole trade quest thing. So I guess Greg decided to just equip the sword and then get that chest and then later get bottle and B again. Maybe he's going to do that now. No, probably later.
Greg is doing a trick here. Well, he failed it, but Exodus did it, I think. Called WES, which stands for Water Extended Super Slide. Greg now doing the on-land version called HES, Hyper Extended Super Slide, which is the original version. I don't know why Exodus just pressed A. Oh,
the original version. The one and only, the OG.
Exodus is buying arrows. That is, I believe, to shoot the sun later. Which I'm curious why not just do an extra weird shot after ice arrows, but I guess it must even out.
Yeah, it's pretty quick to buy, and otherwise you have to do the whole dupe thing over the ice arrows.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't think about that, yeah. How often do 2 people choose the same route in these races? Not super often, but probably more often than you would think. When 2 players face off that are both really, really good at the game, it's pretty common that they might think the same row is good.
Yeah, so first they have to pick the same row, and then they also have to have the same opinion on in what order to do stuff. So, but it happens sometimes, but usually there's always some little difference in what they do.
So this trick, Hess or Wes, and Exodus is about to do it again here. Basically, first Exodus is going to get a Mega Side Hop, which is a trick where you shield damage and side hop, and you're able to get a boosted side hop. And then entering and exiting water very quickly whilst also holding what is called ESS position, or Extended Super Slide position, is basically just outside the dead zone of your analog stick. It's where you can make Link turn without moving. And this has a sort of special side effect in OOT, where if you enter and exit water while holding it, you can get this really fast backward movement. And if you shield damage and target at a certain frame, you can also get this really fast, maneuverable backwards movement. Okay, so Exodus has the Poacher Saw, and he still has Bottle on B, so he's just going to go ahead and drop and catch. So first he drops, which changes his inventory slightly, but it doesn't matter because he's going to re-catch, which is the exact opposite in binary of dropping, so essentially nothing changed. But he's now caught, and the Poacher Saw specifically updates your quest item portion of your inventory. And specifically, it points to the songs portion of your quest item inventory, and it's super nice. Basically, you get Zelda's Lullaby, you get Nocturne of Shadow, you get Serenade of Water, as well as Prelude of Light. And you can get different songs depending on what item it is you're writing to your B button. So with fish, you'll get slightly different results than with bugs. Again, it is based on the value of the item you caught in your B button. So 29 is currently being written to in binary to the quest item subscreen. Or it happens instantly when you catch. And obviously this is super powerful with Poacher Saw because, Zelda's Lullaby, you have to go talk to Zelda, watch the whole cutscene, and not only do you get that song, but also several other warp songs, which are also obviously good for this because you can warp all over the map.
And Exo is getting the first goal of the race.
Yeah, Goron Tunic here in just a second. Greg going for the impossible trick.
So there's easier ways to do this, but then you usually want to use your sword. So he has to make this jump, but now it worked.
Exodus has completed a goal. The Goron Tunic is achieved.
Let's go!
That means he's winning, right?
Yeah.
He must be ahead.
He must be ahead.
There's no other way.
It's like when someone has more pieces in chess. That means they're winning.
Yeah. 30 minutes to get one goal, that means 2 hours and a half for the whole row.
Obviously. And it means it means 13 hours to do a blackout.
Yes.
So Exodus is about to do something called Bolero cutscene skip. The cool thing about cutscenes in this game is that if they are giving you something like a song, they actually do it on the first possible frame. Oh, he might actually be skipping it all together. Get the bomb drop and then mega flip, maybe? Because I guess he doesn't really need Bolero.
Yeah,
he
true.
might go into fire right now. After
Yeah,
getting
that's what I'm
his
saying.
bombs, yeah.
And then you can skip the death.
He doesn't need. And with Goron Tunic, it's also easy to make it into fire before the timer runs out. So
yeah,
can't expect him to do it. Yeah,
so
he's going
just
to
gonna
fire.
mega flip. You can make that with a mega side hop? Oh my god, my world is shattered, dude. The amount of times I have failed a mega flip there, I feel like a dummy.
So yeah, he's going to Fire Temple to collect the Megaton Hammer. One of his goals. And yeah, that is all he's in here for. There's no silver rupee rooms here.
Who wants to explain time stop?
Yeah.
This is one of those things. I'm not sure like how this works, but the thing he did with the bottle made the camera turn away from Darunia. So Darunia is standing in the room, ready to tell a really nice story to Link, but we don't have time for that. So you put the camera behind you so that the game never looks at Darunia, and as long as you keep the camera away from him, he never starts talking. So it's very important that he doesn't accidentally look at him, because then he has to watch the cutscene.
Yeah, it's basically a made-you-look game.
Yeah.
Runner guy with a really good point. Bolero is awkward because of Broken Sword RBA. So, we've talked about RBA, or Reverse Bottle Adventure, and how powerful it is. But it also is a little dangerous. Since you are permanently updating your inventory, you can also delete things. You can overwrite values, you can delete things, etc. So, for instance, you block yourself out of certain goals by choosing to RBA certain things. And a notable thing here is that if you RBA the Broken Goron Sword, which Exodus will be doing for reasons I'll explain in a little bit, then you delete Bolero of Fire permanently. And if you've already gotten it, you can't go get it again. It's just gone forever.
So yeah, important to note, Greg just RBA the Poacher song, which means without, you don't notice it, but he actually collected a lot of songs while doing this. He now already has Zelda's Lullaby, he has Prelude of Light, Nocturne of Shadow, Serenade of Water. Um, am I missing some?
Well, he also, I imagine he RBA'd Odd Potion, right?
Yeah.
So he should
So,
also have Song of Time and Song of Storms after that he picked up.
yeah, and Song of Storms being the only one he actually got manually.
So it's pretty standard to have 6 songs at this point, if that is a goal that you're going for. Because it's 4 from Poacher Saw, 1 from the Odd Potion, and 1 legitimate song. And now he's going to get Minuet and Bolero to make 8. And then he's got to pick up 2 somewhere. He'll probably do, well, he will do Sun Song and the Requiem of Spirit, because Saria's Song and Epona Song are child exclusive.
So when I first learned that you can, get a lot of songs by manipulating memory in bingo, I thought like, oh, that's pretty lame, because I kind of imagined that you could kind of pick and choose which songs you could get, and I thought that's too easy. But RBA is quite limited. Like it's very fixed which things you can get and which things you don't. So it's just always the same set of songs that you're able to RBA. But the rest you will just have to get in the overall. So it's not like you can, 10 songs, oh, I just RBA all of them.
I'd like to call out Average Greg for the wackest Minuet cutscene skip setup I've ever seen. Did you see that?
Hey, yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's fast.
Literally, you just side hop and then backwalk is free.
Yeah, but
I'm also surprised the movement people do there. Like I just walk into the mobile inn and that's it.
Yeah, same, and it works every time.
I don't know.
It's very neat.
It's a zoomer thing.
All right, well, let us boomers be happy about one thing.
Oh, Exo almost got the bubble. Almost killed it.
So Greg playing some storms to get into this hidden grotto that actually has another gold rupee chest. So that's for his gold rupee chest goal.
It's funny, I think of gold rupee chests and silver rupee rooms as being such a new goal, because in the context of like the grand scheme of things in bingo, it is. But they are both like 2 years old at this point.
Oh yeah.
Two?
Is it more than 2?
I'm not sure exactly, but probably.
Is it already 2?
I think it's 2 years old.
What? Damn. Time flies.
Exodus is going to skip activating the switch by just getting burned by the fire maze and then backflipping through. GR, you wouldn't know it from my Hundo PB, but yes.
So it's very common to see a lot of Fire Temple in a bingo, because like Fire Temple is one of the only dungeons where you have to go pretty deep into there to get the items or to get the things. You can't immediately skip to the boss. I mean, you can, but you always need the hammer for that, and the hammer is pretty deep into fire. So it's a typical go through all of Fire Temple goal, basically. The Megaton hammer.
I just realized we never really described why these rows are good. Floosh, you wanna take one of them?
Are you trying to expose me?
I
have
don't
no
want
idea.
I don't want to be exposed. All right, I'll give it a shot. Okay, let's look at Exodus's row. Where is the synergy, basically, is the first question. There's a few good things. Basically, the whole row should be routed around silver rupee rooms, right? Because that is the longest, most route-heavy goal. So Exodus is asking himself, where are there a lot of silver rupee rooms? The good news is there are 2 in Ice Cavern, which are super fast. So there's 2. He did the one in bottom of the well. That's 3. And there are several in Ganon's castle, which is nice because Exodus is getting the light arrows, which will create the light bridge. Not that he'd need it, but in the event that he wants to skip that hover, he can always get into Ganon's castle easily, and there are several silver rupee rooms in there. So that's one good thing. Megaton Hammer and Goron Tunic has some pretty obvious synergy. And then Hover Boots is just free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the Garanchnik Mega Hammer, it's more about like a comfort synergy. Like it makes the row kind of comfy, but it doesn't really. Having Garanchnik does not make Hammer really faster.
No,
You can
but I
you
would
can
argue
basically
that
skip a fairy, but yeah, it makes the row more comfy.
sure, but I would argue that like Megaton Hammer and Goron Tunic together has some obvious like synergy as well, like not just comfort.
Yeah,
I mean, most of the time you're gonna.
not a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another synergy is so elemental arrow is one of those ice arrows in Gerudo Training Grounds, and there's also well, 2 easy silver rupee rooms and one not so easy, but might be easier if he actually uses the iron boots. But I don't expect to see that one.
Yeah, I mean he has Song of Time if he doesn't even want a weird shot.
True. Problem is usually the water timer.
Oh, Greg is having a real tough time in Death Mountain Crater right now.
Yeah, he actually. We were too busy talking, but he missed Bolero cutscene skip. It's always a bit painful when you have to watch the cutscene.
I think
Ooh.
Exodus is on really solid pace right now.
Yeah, Exodus is such an experienced player. He's been playing like he basically mains bingo, at least for vanilla OT, and yeah, he's been playing it for a very long time and really good at it. Greg is more like a bit newer to bingo. Has been playing it maybe for maybe 1.5 years. Has been improving very fast though, so he's one of the newcomers that is doing very well.
Yeah, I would say that like Greg is one of those runners that has a lot of RTA skill, also scary with the bomb there.
Yeah,
Greg brings that sort of RTA skill, whereas Exodus has been essentially maining bingo the whole time and is just so consistent. I would say that's Exodus's strongest suit is that he's just like so consistent. And regularly is getting top times in any race that he plays in and has for easily, I would say, 8 years now. He's been around at least as long as I have, which was like 8 years ago, and he's always been really good. So oh, also Silver Rupee Rooms in Shadow. Oh, I don't think Exodus is going to go to Ganon's castle at all.
yeah, I think he can completely skip that. He doesn't really need other stuff there.
Why is he weird shotting the chest if he's going to beat the Silver Rupee Room?
Um,
Is he just going to forget this one?
is he not?
Oh
Is he
no, no,
Oh,
there is
no.
some weird
Wait.
flag shits in Shadow. You don't have to clear that room to have it cleared, if that makes any
Oh.
sense.
Wait, what?
There is some black magic you can. There is some
Yeah,
black magic you can.
There's
do.
a flag you can set that sets the flag of that room being cleared. It has to do with the read room later on. I've
Yep.
never done it, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's possible to set the flag without
And we're
actually
just gonna
doing it.
allow that? Imagine allowing cheating in your speedrun tournament. This is unbelievable. Oh, no. Oh, okay, he's going here. I thought he was jumping at the tiny seam. It always terrifies me.
It scares me so much when I see that. But yeah, I'm not a player that likes to take a lot of risks, so stuff easily scares me.
Yeah, same.
I think there's something to be said though. Like, there's definitely a skill in just being consistent and not going for like scary stuff. You know, if you play your game well, you should consistently place. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, and
you made it to
especially
top
in
16.
yeah, especially in races, I think that's the case. People often forget that live races are not the same as RTA. You know, like if you make a mistake, you're not going to reset. You're stuck with this run. Like you have to
Right.
finish it. So I think that's very important to change your strats accordingly.
I would agree with that. And it's also, it's worth mentioning. I don't think she'd ever bring it up on her own, but Xwell was in the top 16 of this tournament. Not only is she running it with Floosh, but she also, got through the Swiss rounds and qualified for top 16. So definitely a very qualified player. I did not make it through the bracket or through the uh, the Swiss rounds, but that's it's neither here nor there, guys. All right.
Making me blush.
We'll chalk it up. We'll chalk it up to the bye in the first round. How about that?
Yeah, the tournament was rigged.
Yeah, rigged. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Fush is always rigging the tournament.
Yeah, I have to. Gotta have some juicy matchups.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna. Did we already see the? He's trying it now. Whatever this trick is, I've never seen.
It already happened, I think. I don't. Now he's just gonna warp away.
Yeah, I think it's just killing the redeads here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, just one, I think. Oh, that's very weird.
But if you would go back now and look at the room, it should be cleared. I think that's what's going on.
Yep, exactly.
How many rooms has EXO done so far? It should be four then, right?
Oh, I would say 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 3 in shadow and 1 in bottom of the well.
He killed the redead. That's the whole trick.
Yeah, it's a sick trick.
Yeah, you can even glitch the game without even noticing.
Is that the reason it's worded as clear? No, I think it was that long before that trick was a thing. Just believe us, guys. It's cleared.
now that Greg got Sun... Wait, did he already get... Yeah, he already got Blair. So now that he got Sun Song, he only has Requiem left in the Spirit area for the 10-song school.
And
you
it's
can also see that...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you can see that RBA actually messes up the pause screen. So if you watch Exodus' screen, when he pauses, you're going to see some black chunks that spreads out on the screen. So yeah, that's caused by RBA.
Okay, so Exodus is trading the Poacher Saw for the Broken Goron Sword. And he will RBA that eventually. And this is our final exam in the crash course of RBA in this particular race. The Poacher Saw did the songs in the quest item inventory, and it just so happens that the Broken Goron Sword trade item happens to point to the medallions and the songs. I mean, Poacher Saw does too, but not of consequence right now. But the Broken Goron Sword also points to the quest item part of your inventory, and the super good, awesome thing is that RBing the Broken Goron Sword with several of the items you can have on your B button gives you the Shadow and Spirit Medallion. The reason this is so good is because the game, when checking to give you the Light Arrow cutscene in the Temple of Time, which is basically the end of the game, it only checks to see if you have the Shadow and Spirit Medallions, because they assume, well, you can't have gotten those without beating all the prior dungeons, so it only checks for those two. And the interesting historical note is that for a long time, that was the fastest way to beat the game. Any percent in like 2011, before Wrong Warp was discovered, the fastest way to beat the game was you would trade up to the Broken Goron Sword, RBA it, and then go beat Ganondorf and Ganon as normal. And this is really good for us because Exodus needs the 3 elemental arrows. So yeah. Also, probably worth explaining. Weird shot.
Um,
It's
I'm
weird.
actually like not very into exactly how tricks work. So
Well, weird shot. You take damage and activate a first-person item and some other button combinations at the same time. We're not taking damage exactly, but like shielding damage. And Exodus resorting to buffering here. And basically, you displace Link's first-person actor to beneath the ground. So Link's actual collision, I believe, is still above ground, but
Yeah, it
uh,
it freaks out the camera, I think.
yeah, and so it allows you
Basically.
to shoot things from beneath the ground. And Ocarina of Time's collision is one-sided, so you can shoot the hookshot through the non-collision side of objects in order to hookshot items or objects.
yeah, the important part is that it puts you under the ground, that you're able to hookshot things on the other side of a wall if there's
That's
anything
really all the
shuttable there.
explanation we actually needed. Exwell with the clutch actual explanation. That's what I should have said. Or runner guy with it's weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
The game is pretty weird, so it goes for a lot of things.
every glitch should be called weird something.
Mm. Weird
Yeah, we already
RBA.
Or
we already have
Doom
weird
Doom.
shots. We do have weird slides.
Weird clip.
We do have weird clips, yes. Like actual legit names of the tricks.
The game gets confused. Perfect. Yeah, a trick is being done here called ground clip. You shield damage again, but in the middle of a grab animation in order to do this thing where instead of backflipping or side hopping, Link jumps, which he doesn't usually do. And you can grab stuff that's high up. And I'm going to let these gamers explain Serenade cutscene skip while I prep our other runners.
Alright, so if you can see,
Ooh.
Greg is damaging down because he wants to skip the cutscene that starts once you open the Iron Boots chest. So he's going to pull bomb and pause the buffer until the frame where he would die and then open the chest. It's pretty scary because you want the second frame where the bomb explodes and it looks very similar to the first one, but he got to the right frame.
He got it.
He got it, yeah. So you'll
It's a
see that
pretty
the cutscene starts and he dies.
it's a pretty big time save. It really sucks to fail it, especially if you have to start over from the entrance of the ice cavern.
Yeah, because if you fail it, you do die, but you didn't get the Iron Boot, so then you have to walk there all the way back. So he got Serenade from the trick, but he already had Serenade from the RBA before, so that didn't really help anything. But he needed the Iron Boots for the Boots goal.
It sucks more when you
And
have a fairy and you forget. It happens a lot. You try to do a cutscene skip by dying right on the beginning of the cutscene, and you forget you have a fairy. It's just a classic. Everyone has to go through that mistake.
alright, so after RBA the Broken Sword to get, uh, among others, the Shadow and Spirit medallions, Exodus safe warped into the Light Arrow cutscene, or a safe warp to go to Temple of Time. And the Light Arrow cutscene there starts because he has the right medallions in his inventory for it to trigger. And yeah, there's not really a better way than to watch the whole cutscene to get light arrows. So that makes 3 elemental arrows a pretty long goal.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Exodus did not decide to end on the lighter rose.
I'm not
Would it
completely
be too
sure
weird to route?
either. Maybe he's going to end on Iron Boot?
Oh yeah.
Does that. Maybe that. Yeah, he might end on that. But I don't think that's much better than ending on light arrows?
I'm not sure. Because yeah, as you will see, the cutscene actually continues after you get the light arrows. So sometimes you want to get light arrows as your last goal, so you don't have to go through the end of the cutscene.
Yeah, in many rows, there's often a goal that is good to end on because, you get the goal a little earlier than the cutscene ends.
It probably is worth re-explaining what's going on as Greg farms for bombs. This is an Ocarina of Time bingo race. So bingo is this race format in Ocarina of Time and many other games, but it's best in OOT. Just take my word for it. It's basically a randomly generated card of 5x5 goals appears, and the two players get this card right at the start, and the two of them pick a row that they like. They do not have to pick the same row. And whoever finishes a bingo or a 5 length stretch of goals, either a row, column, or diagonal, first wins. And so we're currently seeing a match from the top 8 of the 2021 bingo tournament. These are 2 of the quarterfinalists, and after this, we will have 2 of the other quarterfinalists, Tomato versus Lake.
And a really cool thing about bingo, I think, is to be able to play it, you have to know so much about the game. You have to be able to navigate all the temples, you have to know where heart pieces are, where skulltulas are, and you have to know tricks all over the game. Like, it's not just learning one route for a speedrun. You have to be very versatile. And yeah, I think bingo players, they're actually usually not as famous as the RTA players because they don't get world records, but they are actually one of the best players of Ocarina of Time, at least in my opinion.
I would agree. I would say some of the top bingo players are probably some of the, if not the top players in OT. Like, runners like Exodus, Tob, Tim. I mean, Tim dabbles in RBA more than those other 2, but I would say all 3 of those players are, and Juke as well, are, some of the best players in OT right now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's worth noting that EXO actually won the 2018 bingo tournament.
Oh, that's right.
He did, yes.
And Greg is the challenger approaching.
Oh my god, it's the name of the show!
Oh, bug!
Wow.
See what you did there.
You can have it. The show's yours.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So Greg is entering Gerudo Training Grounds. He's doing the same method, which is the beautiful, beautiful Neko setup. That made this trick free. It's 10 frames. Like, that boggles my mind. That trick used to be hard. Anyway.
It's so many frames. It's an eternity, it feels like.
Well, in OT, it is an eternity. But yeah, so he is getting ice arrows?
Yeah.
Oh, Meg.
Yeah, for me, yeah. Well,
at first I was confused.
Actually, that doesn't make much sense. He's
I guess it's still faster, so that you can actually do the red bow right away.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it worth going into Gerudo Training Grounds just for that and then getting caught when you exit?
Well, he's getting gold rupee.
Yeah, since
Oh,
he's there,
of course.
he's there anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, I forgot about the gold rupee.
But then he struggled to weird shot, so
yeah, I think the moment it takes more than a few, it's slow. Exodus is side flip hovering, I guess, because he's not shooting the Skulltula. Okay, so the water is currently down in Lake Hylia, and there are 2 ways to solve this problem. Well, there are a few ways to solve this problem, but the 2 ways that are typically seen in bingo. Oh, that's brutal. Are either to side flip hover, which it looks like he's doing, or to do a trick that goes by many names. But we'll just call it. I don't know. What do people call it these days? I called it like tree jump,
It's just a hookshot jump, I guess.
hookshot jump. Yeah, jungle jump. Is that what people call it, or is that forest temple?
That's Forest. That's only Forest Temple.
You sound like a boomer who's trying to who
Okay,
mixes
They're
up
well.
names.
How do you call it, fellow speedrunner kid?
I
Is
don't
this
know.
jungle jump?
When it first was found, everyone was like, "Oh, it's so hard," and I was like, "Oh, it is so hard," and it's really quite free. And the side flips are slower, and Exodus did have the time of day, so I'm actually a little bit confused why he chose to side flip instead. I guess this was why he got bomb shoes at all. But yeah, you can hover in midair, which this is the first time we're seeing it. When you have ISG or Infinite Sword Glitch active, the game is swinging Link's sword every frame, even when you are not actively pressing B. This is super good because in OOT and Majora's Mask, when you're swinging your sword, you can't fall off of a ledge. And if it's swinging every frame, you obviously can just walk up to a ledge and never fall. This is also super good because if you happen to be in a situation where the game believes you to be on a ledge, but you're actually in midair, also,
Well, what is this trick?
what is he super slide teleporting into?
I haven't seen this in like ever. What?
Okay,
I'm
Flush
I'm
is having
bamboozled.
a brain blast over there.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it.
Cool. Electing not to ground clip for whatever reason. But if the game believes you to be in midair and on a ledge, you'll just stay there. And it just so happens that with ISG active, shielding damage, the game does just that. And that's really all the information you need to know about hovering.
Yeah, and OOT has so many glitches that it took us 60 minutes to start talking about ISG, which is probably the first glitch anyone would learn when trying to speedrun the game.
No, these days all these kids are learning Hess first. I don't understand.
Oh yeah,
Always. It's like
that's
one of the
why
last things I learned
I'm
personally.
behind.
Same.
Because it's just a trick. Yeah, it doesn't get you places. I love to learn all the tricks that. Yeah, okay, maybe in some situations, but most of the time
Yeah.
you're just trying to move faster over a field or whatever. Well, it's fun, but like for bingo, you mostly want to know all the sequence breaks to get into all the areas early.
Also, it's worth mentioning if you are watching this stream and you think it is interesting, then I cannot recommend trying bingo enough. I did my first bingo in like December 2012 or January 2013, and I have never looked back. It is the most fun thing in speedrunning, in my opinion. Bingo's a blast. The community rocks. Everybody's super supportive. And like really knowledgeable and helpful to new players. We do 2 weekly races. There is European Saturday Night Bingo, which is at a time on Saturdays. And we do Saturday Night Bingo, which is also at a time on Saturdays. And these two individuals may know the actual times these days.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Eastern and I think 9:30 Eastern on Saturdays.
And those are on race time. Yeah, this is a great question. Is there a Discord that can help new players? There sure is. There's actually 2 good Discords you should probably join. The first one is the Ocarina of Time speedrunning Discord, which can be found on the Ocarina of Time speedrun.com page. There's a bingo channel in there. There's a races channel in there, which is where we sort of schedule on-the-fly races when everybody's just, anyone's just like, hey, I'd like to bingo right now. And then probably Bing Bros for the other one, yeah?
Yeah, Bing Bros.
Where can people access that if they're watching like this on YouTube or something?
So they should first go to the Ocarina of Time speedrunning Discord, and there in the resources you can find a link to the specific bingo Discord if you want to really dive into bingos.
And I really highly recommend it. And this isn't the only bingo race type as well. There are team bingos, which are great. There's bingo lockout. There's team bingo lockout. There's bingo draft, reverse draft.
Hex bingo.
Also, Exodus is about to finish.
Yeah, that's
This is
that's-
it.
Okay, he got a really
Done.
good time, I have to say.
That is nuts.
GG. A 105 is a really good time in bingo.
Not only in bingo, but also not only in a tournament race, but on the GDQ stage as well. Like, I think
Yeah.
this is just a real testament to Exodus's consistency. So yeah, that was like a 105.20 or something. I'll check the race time. Exodus's final time, 105.12. Wow.
Wow, GG. It's also one of the best times in the tournament, I think.
Yeah.
Probably. So getting a sub 110 is usually regarded as pretty good in OT bingo. And yeah, getting closer to the 1 minute mark is pretty unique. And it almost never happens that someone gets under an hour unless there's something wrong with the row, which sometimes happens because, you know, the algorithm is not always perfect.
I would say that for any aspiring new players, a great first goal is to break 2 hours, and then your next big goal should be to break 1 hour 30. That's like the testament that you are you know your stuff, and you're just good enough to, you know, be a pretty on average player, and that's a really great place to sit in bingo. I have been bingoing forever. I never took it incredibly seriously. It's usually just a thing I really enjoy to do every once in a while. But this year I started taking it a little more seriously and just got my first sub 120, which is the next big barrier. And then
Nice, yeah.
sub 110 is like the real deal.
Like 120, first sub 120 is also like a pretty big milestone. I remember that too.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Sub 120 feels nice.
And also, don't be afraid. Like, when I tried bingo for the first time, I only knew, you know, the fundamentals. Like, you know, the few tricks that you can sequence break a little bit, like Forest Escape, Dwarf Time Skip, Shadow Early. And my first bingo took 5 hours. So also don't be afraid to take way longer than that 2 hour mark that was mentioned, because yeah, that's you basically just learn by playing, and every bingo you do, you learn new goals basically, and that's how you get better.
I would also say that if you really wanted to, you could just do a bingo glitchless as well. Almost every goal, with the exception of some RBA goals like Green Gauntlets, should be accomplishable with no glitch knowledge whatsoever. So if you want to just do one for fun, you absolutely can.
And then there's also we do have special beginner boards. They are linked in the resources of the bingo Discord. Those have smaller boards, 4x4, and all the goals that require you to do RBA or are difficult to route are taken out. So if you want to like play it slow and try a beginner board, that is possible.
And there is short bingo as well. I mean, there are so many ways to get started in bingo.
There are also great YouTube tutorials. Some people have made sort of like bingo tutorials for beginners as well as RTA tutorials for beginners. There aren't a ton of great super centralized resources. There's that website, the bingo teacher.
Yeah, that's a very good resource. We also have a document, a beginner's guide, basically. It's all linked in the bingo Discord. So if you're interested, definitely go into the OT Discord and check out the resources to find the bingo Discord.
I will go ahead and get a link for the Discord. If you are interested in bingo, that is the link to join the server.
So Greg is finishing up his last goal, defeat Mag, which is the purple Poe, and that is the very last Poe that you would defeat before going to the final boss. And before you can spawn that Poe, you have to also do all the other 3 Poes. So that's why it's kind of a long goal.
What does ADEF stand for? Yes, that's correct.
Also, if you're curious about the progress of this tournament and who is still playing whom, you can look at this website.
If you send me the link, I can
Oh,
post it.
I'm not allowed. Yeah, I will.
It'll just delete you.
Delete.
So yeah, the link that's about to be posted is the current state of the bingo tournament. If you want to see any information on the bingo tournament, you can go there. So this is not the last day of the tournament. This is just, we're showcasing 2 of the 4 top 8 matches. Have the others played yet?
I don't think so.
No, they still have to play. So tomorrow there will be another match. Zenra versus Link 11. And Juke and Top still have to schedule.
Greg is showing off a little bit.
He's doing jungle jump. This is the one jungle jump that you were talking about.
Well, there you go. I learn something new every day.
And he got this is actually not a very easy trick, and it's pretty courageous to go for it in bingo. It says like a minute.
It's very impressive to watch.
So basically, Greg did something first called entrance point glitch, where he is able to open a door but like not get pushed all the way into the room is an easy way of thinking of it. And then he did something called doom jump, which is still the best name for a trick, where he dies and takes damage and hook shots like all at the same time, or rather the damage kills him and he hook shots at the same time. And he flies into the air. Because he has a fairy, he can get healed afterwards, which is really nice. And it just so happens that the Stalfos room with the bow is right above. And this is sort of why getting ice arrows is, like, not great. I mean, he got to do Amy early, I guess. But that really is the only benefit I see, especially if you're going to do jungle jump.
Getting those decky nuts for the pose. It's nice to stun them. So here's he's using the ice arrows he collected instead of just getting the fairy bow from Forest. Yeah, I guess it maybe saves a tiny bit.
Okay, so Greg will only have 2 Poes left to do. He has the blue Poe, whose name escapes me. It's one of the little women. And then he will have Meg, the purple Poe. It's Amy, Meg, Joanna, and
Joelle.
And
Beth.
What's the other one? Beth, that's right.
OT trivia for you guys to enjoy.
The runners started with the same card, but chose different rows. We'll go over this all again in the next race, which will be in just a little bit here.
Yeah, so Greg is now save warping to get back to the start of the temple. He's gonna get the green Poe first, Amy, and do a damage boost to get there. And then he's going to get his final goal by defeating the purple Poe.
And still going to be a super respectable time from Greg.
For sure.
especially when you consider the fact that like he missed Bolero cutscene skip. His child segment was just a little bit rough. Like, even still, he's gonna sub 120 very comfortably.
Oh, he actually did Amy already earlier. I see.
Yeah.
And that was possible because of the ice arrows.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I feel like that's the only real benefit.
So
But it
this is
doesn't
all
feel
that's
like it
left.
saves much time because you have to save warp to come back here for Purple Poe anyway.
Yeah, defeat May is a goal that requires a lot of preparation. Yeah, so unfortunately for Greg, this means he will be out of the tourney. But I think he can be, pretty satisfied making it to the top 8.
And that's done.
Yeah, GG.
1537 for Greg.
Good job.
Wow. GG to both players. Really, really excellent showing. I mean, a 105 from Exodus. Just what a masterclass in bingo, honestly.
Absolutely.
And then, Greg, again, a sub 120, so respectable. And gamers, we are actually going to throw to a quick break here in just a second. So be sure not to go anywhere. We're going to have more Challenger approaching, more GDQ hotfix, and most importantly, more Ocarina of Time Bingo Tournament. We will have another top 8 match between Tim and Lake. And X-Will, I believe, will not be joining us on comms for that match.
Yeah, I will be heading out now, so...
But yeah,
it was fun
feel free
to
to plug what you got going on.
Yeah, so I'm also an Ocarina of Time bingo player. If you're interested in that, you can follow me on my channel, X-Will Marketplace.
So yeah, we'll have... I think it'll probably wind up being just myself and Floosh, but Greg said he might jump on, so we'll see. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Get some water, stretch your legs. We'll be right back with another match in bingo. Take care. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is Challenger approaching, of course. We are here tonight with a very special episode, near and dear to my heart. We're back with more Ocarina of Time bingo. A couple quick announcements. Flame Fatales is starting in 2 days. From August 15th to the 21st, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern each day. Come check out an event benefiting the Malala Fund, an excellent, excellent foundation. Go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info on this awesome speedrunning marathon. It's all week, gamers, all next week on this channel. And after Challenger approaching, so right after this race, we'll have a 5-year anniversary special for Tales of Berseria. Okay, gamers, hello. So, this is Ocarina of Time Bingo. I have with me, Floosh is back on comms. And we also have joining us the racer from the previous race, Average Greg.
Hello.
Greg, how you doing? How you feeling after the race?
I feel okay. I kind of assumed I was going to lose anyway, so I don't feel that bad about going out here. I wish I played a bit better, but overall I'm satisfied.
Good. Well, you played really great. Obviously, some mistakes that you might be disappointed about, but the bottom line is you deeply sub 120'd anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly.
In the end,
I feel pretty good about it.
And being against Exodus, never easy.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is Ocarina of Time Bingo, and I'm going to let our runners know. Start in about a minute. I'll let you know. So yeah, this is a race type in which a goal, a card that is 5 by 5 goals, so 25 goals total, is randomly generated at the start of the race, and both players have the same card, and they pick a row or column or diagonal they like best, and the first person to complete a row, column, or diagonal wins the race. This is the board from the previous race that you're seeing on the bottom middle of your screen. And we will be seeing a brand new one at the start of the next race. On your left, we have Tomato, a really excellent RTA player, and Lake, an excellent bingo player as well. This is the top 8, their quarterfinals. So very exciting.
Yeah, these are both great players. Honestly, this could go either way. I think I give a slight edge to Tim in this, but
I agree.
Lake is more than capable, and I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them win, honestly.
I would agree with that. Also, we have a prediction going up in chat now. Spend your GDQ channel points to who you think is going to win. These are both super capable players, and it'll be exciting to see. Floosh and Greg, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep, let's go.
All right, I'll tell the players to ready up when they're ready.
Yeah, they're both still
And
practicing. Practicing
Yeah.
the exact same trick.
Are they? Oh,
just-
they totally
They're practicing Enter Deku as adult.
I'm gonna laugh when Degutree's not even on the card.
That would be amazing.
They're
it's
also
likely.
using
But yeah.
the practice ROM, which is a really excellent tool that's been developed in recent years.
Yeah, the practice ROM is invaluable to Ocarina of Time speedrunning. Everyone uses it to practice tricks. Has all sorts of neat features like cheats and save states that you can export to an SD card and keep them permanently. It's honestly incredible.
And obviously, our players will be playing on official hardware for the actual race itself, but just some last minute practice. And look how slow that file select screen is. We sure know what version Tim is on.
N64. It can't handle the 60 frames per second file screen, so it displays at 30 instead.
All right, I have let the players know, and I believe Lake is just setting up his game, and then we'll be good to go here. So yeah, an interesting dynamic is that on last race, both players were playing on the 1.2 release, but on this race, Tim will be playing 1.0 and Lake will be playing 1.2, which has actually been a bit of a hotbed of debate recently in the Ocarina of Time Bingo community. But the end of basically the bottom line is both these players super capable. I would say great chances for either to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lush, who's your favorite?
I want to go for Lake. But yeah, both of them, like in the tournament, their median time is only 1 minute apart. So yeah, when Greg says that it could go either way, I mean, he's definitely right. Any of them could win this one.
I'm putting all my points on Lake.
Yeah, let's go.
Can we have a link to the bracket? You absolutely can. You absolutely can. There is now a bracket link in the chat. It's somewhere on that website. I think my message, the players did not know that they can ready up. I said give it a go, but I think they didn't. That didn't compute. But I just let them know again that they can ready up. All right, there we go. They're starting in about 10 seconds.
Excellent.
In 3, 2, 1, go. And we've got the card. I'll post it in the Challenger Coaching chat there. I'll also post the card in the chat, in the Twitch chat for you. But if you don't want to look at it there, you can look at it on the stream itself. So like I said last time, this is a 5x5 card, randomly generated goals. And our players are now looking through really quickly in the intro cutscene, trying to find the goals they like and the row they like.
Straight off the bat, there's a couple of awkward rows. Column 3 is very awkward with green gauntlets plus 10 sons. It's so hard to explain, basically, but like with 10 sons, normally you're going to use a glitch called RBA to get most of them. But in doing so, you delete Cyrus Son. And Cyrus Son is required for the green gauntlets goal, because you need to get Goron Bracelet and then do RBA, this glitch, with a part of the trade quest called Pocket Coco. And that will change your strength upgrade to green gauntlets, which obviously a glitched upgrade you can't normally get. But those two are very anti-synergetic, which is unfortunate to see. And it comes up more often than I would like. There's a bunch of other weird stuff here. There's interesting synergy in TLBR with Fire Arrows and Fire Temple Boss Key, because also using RBA, you can RBA Fire Arrows to get the Boss Key of Fire Temple, everyone to go there. But it does involve doing, again, Cyrus Song with Hot Pieces and Moss Woods.
I also don't love TLBR, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. That one synergy is very nice, but Sari goals and Rooter's Letter as well, so you gotta do a long child section.
Yeah, I think one of the big things we talked about last time was synergy, right? And that's definitely a very important part of goal picking, but it can also be a bit of a trap. Sometimes you might see some really nice synergy and you're like, oh, there's great synergy in this row. but ultimately the goals themselves are quite slow, or there's only one big good set of synergy, like the Fire Temple boss key and fire arrows in TLBR being quite good. But so this board is the same board for both players, and both players are looking at this same board and trying to decide a row that not only they think is fast, but also one which probably caters to their skill sets.
Yeah, that's honestly more important when row picking is not finding the best row, but finding the row that you personally can do the fastest. And so players tend to gravitate towards certain goals they like or that they're good at, and that's to be what they go for the most. But there are times where like those rows don't really come up. You have to kind of just decide on the fly, okay, which of these rows looks the best, and just try and win it best you can. Which is honestly part of the fun of bingo.
You can only RBA Water Medallion with half milk, right?
No, you do that with bugs.
Okay,
I think you're thinking of.
I think row 3 with back in time isn't horrible.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It doesn't look terrible. Obviously you got fire arrows, but like you don't really want to. At that point, you probably just get the legit medallion, honestly, because you don't need to do the entire trade quest.
That's fair. Yeah.
You probably just do Child's Yell maybe with Silver Scale, like Silver Scale. Then
that's why I was thinking back in time.
Market.
Adult ZL into Din's Fire and back in time, I thought was okay.
It's hard to say.
Okay, they picked the same row.
Oh, lovely.
They picked row 5, which I also liked.
I was looking at row 5 as well. It looked pretty good.
Okay, so let's briefly talk about how their routes are about to differ.
So, since Tim is on the N64 version, 1.0 version, he has access to a version-exclusive glitch called Blank A, which is going to allow him to get bomb shoes faster, but he's not doing it by looks of it. He's just getting a stick and leave in, so he doesn't have to worry about that at all. That's entirely, he's just skipping Blank A entirely by looks of it. So never mind.
Alright, well then both players are just going like straight adult, essentially.
Yeah, this is pretty much a straight adult row, aside from Zora area heart pieces, which you need to get one of them as child.
Well, you could back in time for 2.
I don't know if back in time is worth it for the one domain heart. Yeah.
I mean, you could do it for like frog heart piece and.
Yeah, well, in that situation, you have to do back in time anyway because it requires Sunstorms. So regardless, you're doing back in time.
Floosh, how do you feel about this row?
I think that's the row I would have gone for, but not because I think it's a pretty good row, although it probably is, but because I did not like any of the other rows.
Sure.
I would have just defaulted to this one.
There was kind of a lot of garbage.
There weren't many rows I liked on this board. This is like the best one I could spot, like in the time we had.
So both players just did Aqua Escape, very standard bingo trick to get out of the forest early, and neither of them are getting a sword as Child Link. They really just need a Deku Stick just to get this one Zora area heart piece, the Torch heart piece inside Zora's domain. The problem is, getting inside the domain, you typically need Zelda's Lullaby, but our players will be skipping that necessity via a Cucco.
Yeah, so the waterfall that blocks Zora's domain is sort of not attached to the wall on the side, so you can just use a Cucco to glide like next to the wall and get into the domain without to play CL. One thing to know about this goal, Zora area heart pieces, is that it's any heart pieces in Zora's River, Zora's Domain, and Zora's Fountain. It does not include Jabu or Ice Cavern. So you can't use Ice Cavern heart piece, for example, as one of your Zora area heart pieces. So your options are you got 4 in River.
Frog heart piece.
You got 2 frog heart pieces, the 2 freestanding ones in River. And you got Child Domain. You got 2 in Adult Fountain. So it's like
total.
8 total, but
wait, no. 1
7.
plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7.
Maths checks out. Generally, you're going to be skipping the frog ones because those require back in time and a whole lot of sons. You need Son of Storms for the first one, and then all the Grey Note sons, which includes Cyrus Son and Epona Son, which are pretty slow to get normally. So those ones are normally skipped, and you just get these 5, which are the 2 standard ones in River, Child Domain, Adult, and the 2 in Adult Fountain, which does require Iron Boots, but that's like a 3-minute trek to get them. It's not that bad.
I actually think this row is really good upon further inspection.
Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I like it. So, 26 is pretty self-explanatory. You just gotta have 26 in your inventory. Your starting number of sticks you can carry is 10. But you can bypass skin and you need upgrades via RBA, which I imagine they'll both be doing later.
Yeah, so this will really be the only thing they do as child.
Oh, Tim's getting Decker Nuts. Doesn't play, he's going to do Bomb the World Choose. It's also getting money for diving game.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna do that, you might as well do Rudo's Letter.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, if you're going to...
Well, if you're gonna do Bottom of the
to-
Well, then yeah.
Yeah,
no
you're going to
reason
be in Kakariko anyway. But I guess the plus side is more about time of day, I guess, in this situation. You can just
That's
go
true.
straight to Kakariko.
So we're already seeing a little bit of route divergence here. Again, Lake is certainly just gonna go adult here.
Yeah. Like, I can't see him doing much else.
No. There's nothing else. Well,
Other than getting a bottle. That's
yeah,
it,
getting
though.
a bottle, that's it.
Yeah, so both players grabbing this heart piece. Ooh, Tim's stick burned out.
That is too bad.
Yeah. Small time loss, but he did like this torch up here, so you can just quickly just grab this and go. Okay, there we go. He took the slow way around this time. Alright, Lake could do a
Lake
west
is
attack
gonna,
here.
yeah, spend his one Deku stick on the
yeah.
west, which again, if you weren't here last time, the water extended super slide, as it's called. He is entering and exiting water very quickly while holding the ESS position on his control, which is just outside the dead zone. It doesn't really matter that much to get this west, because you have to wait for time of day anyway, but it does skip the owl text, which is nice.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It saves like a few seconds having talked to the owl.
And it looks cool.
And it
It
looks
does
cool,
look cool.
exactly.
You cannot... So, 20 Deku Sticks is one of the upgrade caps. So, once they have 20, there's no way they can pick up more. And if they break one, they can just go get another.
Alright, so Lake's gonna be collecting these cuckoos to get the bottle. This is like the most common bottle you can get in this game. One that most people end up getting. The other bottles are viable for bingo. The milk bottle you get from Talon and Rudo's Letter. But the very niche scenarios, obviously, like something like if you have a goal like Silver Scale, then get Letter and show it to Kinzora is generally pretty good. And the milk bottle is okay if you have like a Ponus or something instead. But generally, this is the one you're gonna get like 99% of the time.
Okay, so maybe Tim was thinking about doing diving game and then elected ultimately to just collect rupees for the shield, it looks like.
Possibly. I would doubt he just went rupees for the shield anyway.
Right.
But he could have got them from the drawbridge, so...
Right, which is why I think he was thinking about doing diving game and then ultimately decided against it.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about Rudo's Letter and then realized if he's going to CAC anyway, he might as well just get the Kaka bottle.
I know I didn't just see a dropped Wes on N64. So there are some differences between N64 and VC. Obviously, the bottom of the well choose being faster on N64 is one good benefit. Another benefit is that the N64 handles an N64 controller's input as it is supposed to be. And the dead zone is generously small, typically, on N64. So ESS is usually easier to hold and get and maneuver around on N64 than it is on VC. Which is why I said that it was interesting that Tim dropped it. It's pretty uncharacteristic for him, especially as such a talented RTA player.
Yeah, Tim loves going for just the most pointless Hesses in this game. It's honestly... It's kind of a drawback at times for him. Like, we're like a long ranch doing the Hess from like the entrance of the ranch to the tree. And most of that time is spent waiting for the tree to explode. It's like, why even bother? But
So
he
I
just
will
does it
say-
because he's got shoes to burn.
Our prediction is currently 51% to 49% in favor of Tim.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Ooh.
almost 70,000 points on Tim and almost 66,000 on Lake.
Very close.
So just below 2 to 1 for Tim and just above 2 to 1 for Lake. Pretty even split.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Peaches did make the first bingo card. So bingo's been around a long time. Peaches is a very classic name when it comes to speedruns and speedruns live, specifically in Speed Demos Archive. Bingo's been around at least since 2011, probably earlier. Runner Guy can correct me on the actual date there, but it might be earlier. But yeah, Bingo's been around a long time and is a wonderful, wonderful race type. I really love it, and I can't sing its praises enough. It's a great
Yeah.
way to enter Ocarina of Time speedrunning, and it's just a great activity that many of us have been doing for almost a decade.
It's a super fun way to play this game. There's a lot in this game you rarely ever see in actual speedruns, and getting to show them off in this kind of format is really cool. You know, just things like gold rupee chests and like silver rupee rooms, store area heart pieces, this kind of stuff. It's a lot of weird stuff you don't normally need to do in speedruns. So I'm gonna do it here. Oh, Tim.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Luckily, he has a backup. He can just do a Cucko dive here. I guess he just went for the text muscle memory, but he like stood on the ledge for a little bit longer than normal.
So yeah, he was trying to do a Navi dive, which is really just a trick called cutscene dive. But pretty uncharacteristic flubs here from Tim, I would say. Maybe the nerves of the tournament or the setting are getting to him a little bit. But he's going to try something called Cucko dive instead, which he did get.
Yeah. The
So
rest is the exact same trick,
yeah, it's essentially the exact same trick.
but just using Navi instead of a Cucko and vice versa. Because when you're in a cutscene, the water there doesn't act as water. It's just kind of not loaded properly, so you can just fall right through it. And you can do that with a lot of things in this game, like Navi, bottled items, fairy spells, anything that starts like a cutscene. Then you can actually just you find a way to fall off a ledge while in that cutscene, then you can cutscene dive.
So Tim just did blank. Well, Tim didn't do blank A. He already had blank A. But like, I'm gonna let Greg and Floosh explain this one.
So I don't really know the technical explanation behind blank A. All I know is that it works in 1.0 only, and it works by you try to enter a crawl space and then use a nut to interrupt into a crawl space. And I think I might be wrong on this, but your collision gets set as if you were in a crawl space, which means that things don't really work like they should. You can just fall off ledges without jumping. Enemies don't hit you and unlock your way, things like that. And some of the collision, you can just clip and like fall through water very easily. And so you can do that to clip out of bounds and then sight up in midair to get back into the little water tunnel out of bounds, and use that to swim to get to the bomb chew chest. You can do that to do a lot of things in Bomb of the Well. You can use it to open up chests underwater and stuff like that. It's a very interesting glitch that's 1.0 only, unfortunately. But it does allow N64 players to get to bomb chews really quickly without anything but a stick and a Deku nut. Whereas if you're playing on VC or emulator, you have to do something like Vine Clip if you're a real boomer, or Ocarina Dive, which is kind of slow because you need sword and shield and Ocarina to do it.
I did Vine Clip last night.
Wow. How was it?
Whoa.
I got the Vine Clip, but I forgot which direction I was supposed to swim in the water because I haven't done it in 5 years. So
Yeah, sounds about right.
I swam right into the void.
I have never done Vine Clip in actual like.
Why would you
bingo.
do Vine Clip?
It's a long story.
There's like occasional roads like, oh, Vine Clip could be good here, and you realize that's dumb. I'm not doing that.
Basically, any row with Lens of Truth or Gold Rupees and all 3 bottom of the well skulls, it is really good.
I mean, at that point, you just use bomb chews. You probably just get chews and clip out of bounds from the bomb chew chest and swim
Look, you could do that, or you could never learn that and just do Vine Clip.
Never learn that and just complain about it being too hard.
Exactly.
Interesting thing there, a little difference here is that Lake didn't get money and buy a Hylian shield before going adult, which is generally faster because it gets equipped to you automatically when you go adult, whereas Tim is buying one here. It just feels seems strange that he just didn't go his way to... Because he had 40 rupees already, he could have just got 40 more from the drawbridge and bought the shield. Kind of surprised he didn't do it.
I would also say that an interesting thing about this race as opposed to the last one is that since our players are doing the exact same row, we'll be able to kind of more explicitly tell who is quote-unquote ahead at any given time. Currently, it's a little harder to tell just because Tim has choose and Lake does not. But I would say on the whole, Lake's child segment was much cleaner than Tim's.
Yeah.
So I would say Lake currently is probably ahead.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
would say so as well. Even though Tim already has 3 HPs, he took some time. He took some time to get the Zora's River HPs.
Oh,
I think
did
getting
he?
the lower one is good as child. I agree with that one because that one's awkward to get as adult.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happen. Okay, that makes up for a lot of the time, actually. Okay, so
completely offset cutscenes. Feels good.
yes, we don't have to watch 2 Master Sword
Yeah.
cutscenes at the same time.
Instead, we get to watch 2 in a row.
Well, Lake's probably not good doing a whole lot anyway. He's gonna be doing a bunch of RBA coming up probably, which is kind of a complicated glitch to explain.
I can give the quick explanation again once it happens.
Sure.
I'm practiced now.
I can tell you like what he's getting with everything he does, but I don't really know how to put into words how to explain it properly. So
It's a
I'll leave
beautiful
it to you.
glitch. It's a beautiful, beautiful glitch.
It really is. One of my favorite glitches in the game.
We even have Lake blank bombing along to the music.
Oh yeah, so Lake has bombs equipped to his C buttons, but I never getting them. When you go adult in this game, it automatically equips Decunos to C left if you have them, Ocarina to C right if you have an Ocarina, and bombs to C down. Bombs always get equipped to C down, regardless if you have them or not, which is very convenient for us because it means we can use that bomb icon as bombs without having to go and get them, using RBA to put bottles in various places and farm bombs from grass and stuff. But the downside is that if he ever unequips that bomb icon, he can't use bombs ever again. He just loses them forever. So
And
it's
if
a
he
little
RBAs
bit.
Tajiro as well, then he's really screwed.
Yeah, if it's, I imagine he will. This is actually like, because you need to do a little bit of RBA anyway, so in this kind of row, especially because he didn't get bomb choose. So
Well,
It's
actually,
kind of a
I mean,
meme to equip other bombs in the bingo community. When it happens, yeah, you know
it
you're
sucks,
screwed.
dude. It sucks. I've had like 2 races I think where I've equipped over bombs and lost like 10 minutes each. It's not good.
I think the biggest mistake besides equipping over bombs is accidentally RBAing your bomb choose. Such a nightmare.
Yeah, so if you RBA bomb choose, it puts a bottle over your hookshot slot in your inventory. So you can't get hookshot ever again, because either your hookshot's been deleted,
Or
if
you just never equip over
you
bombs
can-
or hookshot.
yeah, well, if you RBA bomb choose before getting hookshot, then you can't get hookshot anyway, because Dampe checks for your hookshot slot, and if there's something in the hookshot slot, then it gives you the heart piece. If not, it gives you the hookshot. Because of the bottle there, he won't give you a hookshot, so you just can't get a hookshot ever again. You get long shot, but hookshot is out of the question.
Okay, so
Pretty rough.
Lake has gotten the pocket egg and has a bottle, and that's great. And he's going here because going to the Ganon's Castle area, it sets it to night, which is good because the pocket egg hatches into the pocket cuckoo after 1 full day-night cycle. So this just skips waiting for night, which is nice. Saves like a handful of seconds. I don't know. It's less than a minute, I think, but somewhere in that regime.
Something like that, yeah.
So Lake is now going to do Bottle on B. And Bottle on B is a super powerful trick and allow him to do a trick called Reverse Bottle Adventure. So the way he's going to get Bottle on B and activate Reverse Bottle Adventure is with a trick called Quick Draw. So Quick Draw is when he's going to interrupt pulling his sword. And this is powerful because when you use a bottle out of your shield, so if I'm holding shield in my bottle, when I swing the bottle by letting go of shield, it checks what the last item I used was. What's the last button I pressed? And when it swings the bottle, it just updates your bottle. But if you do Quick Draw, where the game believes that you've pulled out the sword, but it's unable to because you hit the water right as you pull the sword out. The game believes you've pulled out the sword, when in reality, you haven't, and it updates your B button instead of your bottle button. So now he has bottled bugs on his B button, which is great, because now he can mess with his inventory. So when you change your B button, like pulling the bugs out like he did just now, and recatching them, the magic thing that happens is the game tries to update your B button every time. The problem is that it only ever updates to a sword. So the short explanation is that it looks 3 addresses to the right, essentially, and it just so happens that that location is C right. So when you update your B button, it checks your C right button. And just now, Lake caught bugs with Pocket Egg on C right, and this points to some of his inventory
ammo counts.
Yeah, ammo counts. So it gave him the first Deku stick upgrade, notably. So he now has the ability to have 20 Deku sticks.
I just gave him the second one. He'll kill 30 if he wants to.
Oh, really?
If you catch, it's 30. If you drop, I think it just sets back to default 10. I think is how it works.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but that's fine because he's going to do more RBA to actually modify his stick ammo count, which is by he's going to get a fairy here, which I guess is why he didn't buy Deku Shield, Hylian Shield as child, so he can have money to buy a fairy.
Oh, that makes sense.
And by RBA and fairy points to your stick ammo count, and what ammo you get depends on your what bottle item is you're RBing with. So in this situation, you can RBA with empty bottle, and that's item value 20. So it'll give you 20 Deku sticks. So that's how you get the 20 Deku sticks. Mammoth actually go get the upgrade and anything like that. Point to note, you didn't have to actually RBA the egg at all to get the Deku stick upgrade. You could just do it normally because it just even if you haven't got the upgrade, you still have 20 in your slot, but when you break one, it'll go back down to 10. Oh, getting a bomb drop in the grass. Nice. So you didn't actually need to catch it on the egg at all to get the egg capacity upgrade.
Is that valid for the goal?
Yeah, because in your inventory it says 20 Deku sticks.
Okay, so but for 30, you do need to catch on the egg.
For 30, you do need to catch, yeah. You need the capacity. And then you need to buy you need to RBA with bugs to get 29, and then you buy another one in the shop for 30.
So the next thing that Lake did was he dropped with bombs on his C right, which put a bottle on his bomb slot, which is good because otherwise there'd be nothing there. And the thing that checks if you can get bomb drops is 2 things. Do you have a bomb bag, which he then caught with Kajiro on C right, which gave him a bomb bag and a quiver. So he has a bomb bag, check. The second thing the game checks for is there anything in the bomb slot in his inventory? And now there's a bottle there, so he can officially get bomb drops. The bad thing is, Dampe is absolutely wrecking
Yeah, he's kind of demolishing him right now. A small thing to note is that to get bomb drops, you need to have a bottle on your bomb slot. You can get bomb drops without having a bomb bag, but you can't hold them. So you can collect them, but you won't get any bombs at all. So you could have a bottle on your bomb slot, get a bomb drop, and it'll still say 0. That was a close one. So Dampe, those flames, if you roll into them at the wrong time, like in entering door transitions, it can push you back through a door and void you out, back to the start of the race. And that's happened to everyone at least once, and it sucks. It's like a minute lost.
We thought Tim was pretty far behind, or not pretty far behind, but a little behind, right? But Tim does not have to do trade sequence.
Yeah.
And Lake did, and now they are dead even again. And Tim actually has 2 more heart pieces, or 1 more heart piece maybe, than Lake.
Yeah, so this is the power of Blanquet. Blanquet is most powerful when you can use it to skip doing any sort of trade quests as an adult. So Lake, because he's getting bomb chews, because getting bomb chews on VC is pretty slow. Yeah, it was kind of forced to doing some trade quests to get to Kajiro so he can have explosives. But Tim could skip that entirely because he got bomb chews as child, which means he can now get legit bombs in DC, which lines up perfectly well with his all 5 skulls in Longo's Cavern goal. And just like that, with dropping those bugs, Tim now has 26. So that's 1 goal for Tim.
And probably 1 goal for Lake. I don't know if he RBA'd his fairy yet.
He hasn't bought a fairy yet. I guess he'll do that later. So
1 goal down for Tim.
Yeah, so Blanquet is allowed. There are many version exclusive glitches allowed in Bingo because most of them are pretty powerful and kind of break the game. Most notably, things like Hold R for early Eyeball Frog, which allow you to get Big Goron Sword early. It's kind of kind of busted. In addition, access to like late game trade quest items, which can do a lot of cool stuff with RBA and stuff like that. And on VC, you can't use Deca 6 as adult because they kind of just break the game, break too many goals to be legal. But Blank A is allowed because the main reason is that N64 is slower in every other aspect, other than save warps. Save warps are much faster on N64, but N64 lags a ton, basically everywhere. And so a lot of the time save from Blank A is often offset by that lag, but there are times where N64 players can abuse Blank A heavily in a certain rows where they can skip trade quest or skip certain things N64 that VC has to get, for example. This is sort of a good example of that, whereby Lake was sort of forced into doing trade quests to get explosives, whereas Tim could just Blank A, get choose, and he's fine.
Yeah, I think it's pretty even, I would say, in this particular row. But given that Tim, I would say on the whole had a little bit sloppier child segment, like I said, as well as got extra heart pieces. It just gets to show you that sometimes Blake A is quite powerful.
Yeah. It's a reason why it's kind of like a hotly contested topic in the bingo community. A lot of like VC players tend to don't really enjoy picking the same row and losing by like 2 minutes every time because Blank A is just really good, which is understandable. But like most of the time, VC is generally faster. It just there are times where like you get that one row where N64 is super busted. You can save minutes over VC.
I'd say that's pretty rare, though.
Yeah. Well, both players gain hover boots. This is a pretty standard start for bingo. You get explosives, you get hook shot, you get hover boots. And now they need to get a skull from Shadow Temple. It's one of their adult dungeon skulls. I imagine both of them are going to be skipping True Spinner here. So True Spinner, you have to pull the statue to one of the 3 heads. It's always going to be one of the 3 at the back. The first 2 are never going to be it. You can skip doing the puzzle entirely by just doing a mega flip and clipping through the gate. So doing a distance mega here to get a little bit more reach, and he's through. Round to do a True Spinner. Actually is a pretty precise trick, but we have pretty good setups for it. Oh, a nice anti-graph mega flip as well.
Wow, that was really
doing
sick.
different setups.
Yeah, Tim using a chew and blow up on the sign, whereas like doing a more precise setup to get just a bomb. And you can clip through this gate, and then jump up to this top of this cage. Oh,
Nice bonk.
nice bonk. You need to go a bit more to the right. Where
Nice
Tim is here.
bonk
So
again.
Tim. Alright, so you saw on Tim's side there, he did a little jump and actually clipped through the top of the gate and can now just climb up here and grab the sculpture. That's their one Shadow Temple skull. And you can just leave. It's also where N64 saves time, is that save warps are much faster on N64 because you don't have to look through this this text that Lake's looking at now, which is kind of just a jumbled garbage because he's got a English Wii that's trying to use like text in Japanese, which doesn't display properly. But essentially just means you need a classic controller to play the game. It's on there for like 12 seconds or so, so you lose about 12 seconds or so every time you save warp on VC. It's him. Yeah, here he is.
Yeah,
Getting a
this
hat
is
off
the
the grass.
classic. This is kind of Tim's forte is hessing, and again this is shielding damage and targeting at the same frame on a specific frame of damage in order to move quickly backwards, and it also allows a lot more maneuverability than say a super slide, and Hess and Wes are 2 of the fastest forms of movement in the game, not only because they're so quick, but also the maneuverability where if you're moving your ESS position or if you untarget and turn a little bit, you just go really, really fast and can turn. And I mean, just look how quickly he's going to get through Death Mountain Trail here up to DC. And he's definitely going to save time over Lake, undeniably, by doing more Hesses. Lake also Hesses more than probably your average bingo player. But not as much as Tim, for sure. And here,
Tim
Lake is going
is
to do his RBA.
Yeah, Tim's kind of known for just going for really weird hesses all the time. So like Cabal on B again, this time using Quick Draw with an Explosion to cancel putting the sword out. It's the exact same trick, just using an Explosion instead. And a wall to kind of stop him going back too far. And now he has Ball on B, now he has 20 Decker Sticks. I'm dropping those bugs.
He also has a bottle on his third bottle slot, which you might be curious about. RBAing an empty bottle on your C right, or any bottle really, puts a bottle in your third bottle slot, which is nice. Just gives you an extra bottle to play with.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Oh, this hover
Yeah.
setup from Tim is so sick. Every time he
using the
does it, it
choose.
blows my mind.
Oh, the choose staircase. Yeah.
Yeah, choose
Very
staircase
nice.
is so sick.
Okay,
I
he's
feel
gonna
like
go
you might
high
have
here.
to do one more here.
No,
Okay,
he's fine. Yeah. So Tim used ISG there, which is infinite sword glitch, which basically makes it so your sword is swinging every frame. And if you shield damage in midair, if ISG active, you can't you just kind of stick in midair because you can't fall off ledges with ISG with your sword swinging. And so you can use that with explosions to just hover endlessly upwards.
So yeah, conversely, so Lake has a fairy, right? And so does Tim. And they used it for their Deku Stick RBA, but they're also using it for this trick called Doom Jump, where they're going to die from the fire on the ground at the same time that they hookshot this ladder. And this is super good because you jump up into the air, i.e. Doom Jump, and the fairy heals you at the end.
The trick actually named after a guy called Doom who found it, I believe, and named after himself. I think that's what the lore is for Doom Jump.
Oh, I
Wait,
thought it was
really?
called Doom Jump because you die.
Yeah.
Is that
totally.
not true?
That's totally what. No, it isn't. It's some guy called Doom or something like Doom found it, or maybe or like rediscovered it and called it Doom Jump.
Okay, well I'm not as excited about it anymore.
I know.
It was
I
like
thought
my
the same
favorite.
thing.
It was my
I
favorite
thought-
trick name because it's
I'm
exactly
sorry.
what's happening.
I'm sorry, I've ruined your dreams here.
Yeah, no. I think you're wrong, Greg.
Oh,
You're
okay,
wrong.
yeah, I'm definitely wrong. I'm just, don't mind me.
That's disinformation.
Yeah. All right, so 4 or 5 skulls in DC, you have to kind of take a bit of a weird route. You can do either you can start at the bottom and work your way up, or you can start from the top and work your way down. Lake here is sort of working his way down from Doom Jump, whereby he wants to get these 2 skulls in this staircase room coming up, because one of them.
Did Lake get the
He did, yeah.
fake bomb bag? So he's
Oh no, he didn't get a fake bomb back. No.
okay. I was gonna say
he
I
doesn't
don't
need it for
think that's
anything.
faster. Yeah.
No,
I don't
he doesn't
think
need it for
getting water
anything.
skulls is any good.
Well, he
that
doesn't
way.
need. Yeah, he doesn't need wall small keys at all. He's gonna outbound swim to his sculptural choice.
Yeah, I mean,
From here,
like,
he can side up.
It would
maybe
be
we can set up to
easier,
the circuit.
maybe, but
Yeah, possibly. You have more options that way, but so this staircase is on now. Normally, if you go up through the dungeon, you have to blow the staircase up, and it falls down, and you can't reach the alcove without hovering or damage boosting to it. But if you come from the top, that staircase is still in place. You can just climb up, just go to the top of it, and just get the sculpture easily enough. Which is what players are doing now. Tim's a little bit ahead here. He's already got 2 of them at the bottom, which Lake's going to get now. And they both lit the eyes for the statue, so they can get to the back area, because there was 1 skull here in the back you need to get.
I'm actually concerned about the Doom Jump name now. Like, for real. I can't stop thinking about it.
I'm sorry, I've just ruined everyone's dreams. To be fair, I thought the exact same thing until like 6 months ago. I was told, oh, actually, no, it's named after a guy.
this can't be true. I literally refuse to believe this.
Yeah, no way it's true, dude.
Alright,
I'm
so
with
oh,
Flush.
like a nice
Same.
bomb drop there from the Dongos. Save him beforehand. He wants to display this bomb count a little bit. He needs to use a bunch of bombs here to hover up.
Oh, this is so slow with bombs.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Oh, also,
Oh, he
fails
also
as
started
well.
holding down at the wrong time.
Yeah, wait, you can fix that by just letting go down.
I know, but I
So-
personally use the breathing.
Yeah, same.
So
Oh, another bomb drop. There you go.
Well,
He's fine.
that's
Yeah, so when you're hovering, you often can't see the bomb at all, so you have to use a different cue. In this situation, you can use Link's breathing cycle, which is consistent. And when you start to breathe out the second time, then you can use that to time dropping these bombs and backflipping. It seems a little bit weird and maybe seems a bit tricky, but once you kind of get the hang of bomb hovers and the timing for them, it's honestly pretty lenient.
It used to be, I mean, way back in the day, it was pretty standard to have to hover to Shadow Temple early.
Oh.
And so everybody was pretty proficient at bomb hovers at that time.
You kind of had to be in order to survive.
I mean, then True Slide Teleport became the big meta, and then now we just have Hookshot Jump, which is so free. Okay, so Tim is just getting Minuet here because he needs an adult skull from Forest Temple. And he's going to do a down A cutscene skip. Down A is basically just like interrupting the climbing animation.
Essentially, yeah.
With damage. And it allows you some pretty funky movement ability.
Yeah, so that like area that Tim climbed up there with hover boots on, you normally just slide off that if you try and climb it. But if you're with down A active, you can't. That property isn't there, so you can just climb up that slope, clip out, and then side up into the trigger. The trigger for the Minuet cutscene starting is gigantic. It extends really far down and really far out. So you can just side up towards it, and eventually you'll hit the trigger and then void.
You know how sometimes you learn things and you wish you didn't know them? I think this is maybe the worst example of that in my life.
I am very sorry.
So Tim is going to do a trick here called ground clip, where he is going to approach a point on the ground where two pieces of collision meet with great backwards velocity and clip into them. And that is the simplest way I can describe that.
Yeah, it's very easy to clip out of bounds in this game. If you have enough velocity, you can clip for basically anything. Especially ones that have like acute angles. You can just jump slash clip through it at most acute angles. But ones like that, if you have enough force, say from like a mega side hop, as Tim just said, then you gain a lot of backwards momentum and just clip through basically anything.
So Tim is also skipping Bolero here, which I think is smart.
Yeah, I like this. You can skip Bolero, you can play Minuet to get out, and then you can go from Forest Temple to Swords River. Yeah, this is a really good road for Tim. There's actually like Tim's a pretty good player in the sense that he has a lot of knowledge and knows how to do most goals really well. But this especially is like a really good road for him. So here Tim's doing a glitch called Time Stop, which forces the camera in a sort of weird state. Your shoulders are sort of inverted, and you can use this to.
Oh, that was
keep
so
the camera...
close.
Ooh, that Keys almost ruined his whole career. But you can use that to keep the camera turned towards the door, and that will stop this cutscene from Darunia from triggering, because it triggers when the camera pans over to look at him. The downside, you have to keep the camera away from him the entire time in this room, which is pretty easy to do. You can just target this chest and move past the Goron carefully.
So I agree with Link11 in the chat here, saying that it may have been named after a guy named Doom, but it's mostly because you just died. And sometimes things are named something for a certain reason, and then that reason changes over time as society evolves, and colloquially it means something new. And I would say that the trick is called Doom Jump because you die.
I'm alright with that.
Nice.
Also, Tim is doing a thing here called timer stop, I guess is what you might call it. I don't know. Does it have a name?
Timer delay.
Timer delay. Okay. So he's using what's called a cutscene item while he is in midair to get rid of his heat timer for a little bit. To just give himself a little leeway to do that jump up to the Song of Time block to get this.
Get the Sculpture and Fire Temple. So that's 2 now he's got.
And now he'll play Minuet most likely.
Yeah, and then probably go from Forest. After you get in the Forest Skull, just go straight to Swords River.
Water, probably. Or to the river, yeah.
You go to River and then Ice Cavern.
Well, yeah,
probably.
you need Iron Boots anyway, so then you'll have Serenade.
Yeah. Actually, it's a really good row in terms of
Yeah, I
synergies because
agree.
like you can go get Iron Boots, which gives you Serenade, and you can play Serenade after getting the Zora Heart pieces to get to War Temple, and then you can play Serenade again to get out of War Temple and go to Spirit Temple from there. It's actually really really good. It's better than because I knew it was good when I first saw it, but I mean now I'm realizing okay, it's actually kind of a busted row.
Also, I would recommend that everybody in the chat room follow our runners.
Yep,
Tim and Lake both bingo all the time.
Yeah,
And they do other stuff.
Yeah, they're very, very proficient bingo and RTA players. They've run a lot of categories between them. I think Lake has
Link's
a
on
good time in
Defeat Ganon
basically.
right now?
Yeah, he's trying to get a better defeat Ganon time. He's trying to get sub 17 in that, but he has a really good time in basically every category. Oh, Tim with the Hess past the Moblin.
And Lake is skipping Darunia with a more recent method, I think.
Yeah, using a cutscene item and ISG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
using a cutscene item and ISG at a certain angle, at a certain frame, opening the door. You can also keep the camera.
Yeah, you get the camera
mistakes has
turned to the
Tim made?
side.
I would say the only mistakes Tim has made are like dropped Hesses, and as well his Child 1 segment was a little weak. Like he missed Navi dive into bottom of the well and had to use a Cucko. Things like that.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy child section, but overall been pretty clean. They've both been playing pretty well, for the most part. But Tim's going to do a trick here, to Aqua Escape as adult, where you can jump slash clip, kind of similar to what you do as charge. You just jump slash clip into the corner and then swim into the load zone. He's getting his heart piece now. Yeah, getting the bomb one in River as child is a lot better because otherwise now if you didn't get the one as child, you have to go all the way down to the bottom of the river and then all the way back up again, which is pretty slow. And because that waterfall is still not attached to the wall, you can just use Mega Side Up to get past it. You also use hover boots and all manner of different things to get past it. Because it's a bit too tight in that corner. They wanted to like carry that Hess through all of Zora's domain and use it to clip out bounds here in this corner. But you can just do this instead, so it's not that bad. Like I said, acute angles in this game, very exploitable. You can just jump slash clip through most of them.
Just try it at home, find an acute angle, jump slash into it,
Genuinely.
and
Yeah.
magic happen.
There's one in right outside the Master Sword. There's one right there. You can any of those pillars. So I will restate sort of what's going on. This is Ocarina of Time Bingo. So first of all, this is Challenger Approaching, a GQ Hotfix show where we showcase challenge runners and the runs that they perform. I'm Adef. I host the show every other Friday night. And this is the Ocarina of Time Bingo Tournament, a tournament which Greg and I both participated in. Greg just showed his match off just before this one. And we had a big Swiss rounds, round robin style at the beginning of the tournament, which had a lot of entrants. And now we've whittled down to the top 8, and this is in the bracket stage. And we've shown one match, and this is our second match of the night. And then there will be more GDQ content after this. But this is the last thing for Challenger Approaching tonight. Tim and Lake were given the same card of 5x5 randomly generated goals, such as like beat this temple, get this item, etc. And they both picked a row that they really liked, which happened to be the same row, and whoever completes it first wins.
Yeah, currently they're both doing the exact same row, which helps us keep track of who's in the lead. And as I was saying earlier, getting that Zora Heart piece as child is generally way better because now Lake has to go all the way down the river and all the way back up again after getting this heart piece.
Oh, the glitchless ice cavern movement. Let's go.
Nice. Come on, Tim. Can't do it all exactly because this camera kind of ruins it. So one of the big differences between 1.0 and other versions is that those alcove cameras are really bad on 1.0. They're kind of just like a fixed stationary location, whereas they follow behind you like normal cameras do in other versions, which makes it a bit more awkward to navigate. One of the more like, annoying features of 1.0, along with graves being a little bit weird. You can't fall into graves, you just jump over them like normal ledges at 1.0, but in 1.1.2 you can just fall into them. So they're a bit more awkward.
Well, I think it's in 1.0 you grab them.
Is it? I think you just jump over them.
No, it's 1.0 you grab them, 1.1 you jump them.
And 1.2 you just fall in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Or it's
I'm not-
1.0 you either jump or grab, and then 1.1 and 1.2 you just fall in.
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played 1.0 enough. I basically only ever played 1.2. Aside from when I was a kid, but that's doesn't really count.
Does Tim have glitched health? I don't think so.
I wasn't paying attention.
There's a possibility that due to the ice or the Wolfos, Tim could have. Yeah, okay, he did have
he
glitched
did.
health.
Okay, good. He
good
spotted
game
it.
sense.
He
Yeah,
spotted
really
it.
good game sense. So basically, those are specific enemies which can damage Link lower than a 4th. They can damage you an 8th. And the game. Oh no!
Ooh.
Offers one too many frames.
Okay, this gives Lake an opportunity
Yeah.
to catch up.
That's very unfortunate. So, what Tim was trying to do there was skip the 7 of the water cutscene by dying to open the chest. So you get iron boots, die, and skip the cutscene, but get 7 of the water anyway. Unfortunately, he buffered 1 frame too late, so the bomb killed him before it opened the chest. Which is very unfortunate, because now he has to backtrack through the whole dungeon, and his bomb count is really bad for that. He wants to use 2 bombs to clip past one of the red ice walls. Which is going to have to... He's down to 1 bomb after that. If he messes this up, he's in a bit of trouble.
They're kind of synced right now.
Yeah. He's saving. Good. I was about to say, if he didn't save here, he'd have to get some blue fire to melt this. Okay, there we go.
No, you can always clip with the hover boots.
I think as well, I guess. Yeah, you can crouch tab and clip through. That's strategy boomer for me. I don't know off the top of my head.
See, the bomb strat is too zoomer for me.
Alright, so Lake's also doing glitchless movement for Ice Cavern. This movement is generally faster than using ground jumps and hover boots to get around. It was timed by Danny B for Hundo that this movement's faster if you do bomb push, which both runners do.
Oh, because you'd have hover boots on if you did the recoil.
Well, if you did recall all the Hess from the compass room all the way through Ice Cavern, if you did that, then it's faster to do ground jumps because you already have hover boots equipped. In this situation, it's just better to just do jumps instead.
So, Lake's health is really good, and he's got this Hess. Oh, scary,
my
scary,
god. Okay,
scary.
he dropped it. He has to be careful now, because these freezers could kill him if he's not careful. He has to wait for these freezers to stop.
Very scary now.
Yeah. Luckily, Tim's got a bunch of chews he can use. Well, not a bunch of chews. He's got enough chews to damage down quickly enough. Alright, he's going to try to do this again. Okay, that's the frame.
Nice.
Nice. So, one of the downsides of N64, like I mentioned before, is lag. Because of that, pause buffering is not that consistent on N64. It differs from area to area, depending on what's going on. And so, yeah, a real challenge to, like, time pause buffers correctly in this game, even on N64. Which is kind of scary, things like that, where you're trying to buffer to a very specific frame. And you saw Tim advance, like, 2 frames there after that by accident, but it kind of worked out in his favor. Whereas Lake's doing 1 at a time here, gets the right frame, and just opens the chest.
Yeah, really nice buffering from Lake.
Yeah.
Which is like a genuine skill.
Yeah,
Knowing
pause buffering-
the rhythm for pausing and unpausing is like a genuine ability.
Yeah, it takes a while to actually get it down. But once you do, it's something you don't really forget. At least on VC, where it's consistent. In 64, you get to remember, like, very different locations have different rates of pause buffering. Like DC, for example, is horrendously laggy with pause buffering. Water Temple and GTG, things like that. Areas where there's a lot going on tend to lag way more, which means your pause buffers are going to be a lot slower.
I think Lake has the right idea here. I think getting this one first and the floating one second is faster.
I think it is. I think Lake knows this because he's done Hundo before, which does this in that route. He's confident that he won't drown to this timer. Whereas I think Tim is a little bit concerned.
Oh, I never thought of backwalking here. That's so smart.
Yeah, you can just backwalk up the slope and it saves a little bit of time. He should be fine here.
I think he's okay. Yeah.
He's fine.
You have to backwalk if you don't want to drown.
It's very close, but you can make it. So Tim's
Floosh.
gonna play Serenade here.
Floosh, if people are looking to get into bingo or into bingo tournaments, where do they go?
Well, they go on the Ocarina of Time Discord, and they get the bingo Discord, and they ask questions because we have a lot of nice people willing to help there.
I will. I'll post the bingo Discord link in the chat right now. Be sure to join if you're interested in bingo. It's super easy to get involved. Lots of very knowledgeable runners. Highly recommend.
Bingo looks
Ooh.
intimidating. Ooh.
But he has
I thought
Iron
you
Boots,
found
so
the
it
jump
really
smash
doesn't.
Yeah,
does
he
not
just
matter.
opened the water temple normally. It's not a big deal. Bingo looks intimidating at first because there's a lot of goals, and you have to when you first see a bingo ball for the first time in a race, it looks very intimidating. You got 25 goals, you got 12 rows to look at. There's a lot going on, and it seems pretty rough. But part of the fun of bingo is learning as you go and round on the fly, and learning tricks you normally do. And luckily, there's Lake falls.
Lake pulled ahead and then just fell back behind again.
This ledge clip is a real pain.
Oh
that, for example.
no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, Tim gets it first try, no problem.
Oh.
Oh, this Tektite is such. Oh my god, I hate this Tektite so much. You always kill this Tektite because otherwise he will just ruin you. He'll just get in your way, knock you around.
And this swim is really not trivial at all. It looks easy on screen, but it's really precise actually.
Yeah.
To be able to load the next room, which has the gold sculpture.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of out-of-bounds water in Water Temple you can swim around in. And so if you can clip out or Lake falls out of the water, and it's going to avoid here. But if you can get out of bounds, which is easily enough to do with a trick called a ledge clip, where you target on the first frame you grab a ledge, and you can clip through the wall and swim out of bounds in this water. And this actually breaks Water Temple a lot. You can do a lot with just this one trick. By swimming out of bounds, you can get to various different rooms without Iron Boots, or Zelda's Lullaby, or a bow, or anything like that you might think is required. And one thing is you can do it to get this little wall here and then fall into this second water here. And go the right angle, you can load this next room. You pass through that little low transition there. Loads this room and then you can get to the sculpture, which is, if you're going to get any sculpture in Water Temple for like this kind of gold, one sculpture from each dungeon, this is one you're going to get. It's just the fastest one without anything else.
A reality that, is important to consider, especially in, sort of not only a tournament setting, but also on a big stage like this, is that, sometimes when you start missing something, it gets aggravating, and then, it's, oh my god, there was 3 bombs from that one patch of grass. It can be annoying, it can get aggravating, and then, it just sort of starts to compound, then the Tektite starts hitting you, you're missing the ledge clip, why can't I do this? Then you void out. And it sort of just, it takes a really talented runner to calm yourself down, understand like, hey, it's just part of the game, let's move forward. And I think Lake has done well to sort of try to recover from that. And now it's really just going to come down to movement, I think, from here to the end.
All that's left is,
just
again, five skulls and spirit, that's it. This is a really fast row. Oh, Tim with the swag. So you can pull sword. You can start drawing sword during a Hess, which normally if you swing your sword it cancels it. But you can also quick draw hook shot before you actually swing the sword, and you can keep the Hess going, but the animation of Link shuffling ends, so you can just do a little bit of swag there. It looks like you just stand still with sliding. So Tim gets a lot of bomb luck from Lake Hylia, which he really needed. I wish I could borrow some of it, because my god, I did not have a good time in my race trying to get bomb drops. So, I've had terrible graveyard luck for like 2 months. It's actually getting ridiculous.
Tim is clearing the bridge with a Hess. I'm curious to see. I have a feeling Lake is going to do a side hop or a mega side hop here.
I think he Hesses as well.
Does he?
He's on GSR at a decent high level, which is normally requires his Hess. So and he's got 26 bombs. He should be fine.
Yeah, and again, both of these players are really accomplished RTA players, which is definitely a huge benefit for Bingo, because a lot of those skills transfer nicely. You'll often see good bingo players go be good RTA players and vice versa. And yeah, okay, so this is pretty clean Hess, just equipping hover boots to clear the back. And this is a low height bomb, like damage clip, I guess you would call it. You basically you hover off the first bomb, and then you're not high enough for Link to stay in the air, so Link begins to fall. And then as you're falling, you get hit by the explosion from the second bomb, and this pushes you through the gate.
Yeah, this was found like, well, ground clips as a whole were found like 2 years ago or something like that. And it kind of broke the game because you can use low height ground clips to obviously skip past the gate there. You can use them to skip boss keys by doing staircase hovers next to doors and damaging down. You get pushed through the door, for example. You can do a lot of cool things with ground clips. And Tim doing wasteland tests here.
Wasteland test here.
The full wasty.
RTA stands for real time attack.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
This is definitely what separates the Bing gods from the Bing boys.
Yeah, this has it's honestly it's harder than it looks because if you played this game before, you know Wasteland has a lot of void zones. It's a very like specific path to take through there, and so you have to be very careful to not hit any of the void zones as you're going through. And also, on top of that, you have to deal with levers, which are these green things coming to the ground now. Levers are the worst. They're the worst enemies in the game. You can target levers mid-Hess, which changes your angle. Oh, Lake goes to the halfway C instead. Playing it safe.
Lush, what is your opinion on the full wasteland?
Yes.
Good opinion. Good opinion.
I have never attempted to do a full wasteland Hess. I don't know how to Hess. So of course I'm very impressed every time I say it.
That's like that meme with the Chad.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Chad meme. Yeah. Would you like to play at 5 p.m.? Yes.
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 That genuinely killed me.
That was so funny.
So Tim is doing pretty standard spirit route here. No Song of Time, so just skip past this block. Luckily, getting out of bounds here is not too tough.
Yeah, you can clip out of bounds with using hover boots here.
And also, he skipped past the big strength block at the start.
Yeah.
Also, he's going to do a weird shot here to get back into the main room.
This is slightly faster than, say, warping out, but yeah, okay, he gets a second time. Hey, Lake's doing child side first, which is, I don't think is, I'm pretty sure it's slower, but...
I don't think it matters too much. Also, he's going to, okay.
Ooh, that almost bullied him so hard.
And
This room
Tim just
kind of
needs
sucks.
this one extra key for after Spirit Hover.
Yeah, I think the ideal route for Spirit is he's not doing Spirit Hover. He would do Spirit Hover because then needs Mirror Shield, so... But he's going to be... the ideal route is to do this Adult Skull first and then go through the child side to the rest of the skulls.
But you would need ZL for...
You don't, because the door at the top doesn't require a key. Like the
Oh,
door on
I'm
the child
thinking,
side.
I'm thinking of the other side.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of coming from the top.
Yeah, because so you need a key to get to the Iron Knuckle on child side, but not to that room. So now
I think
Tim can...
it is not out of the question to think that if Tim... Like, I think this row sub 1 is possible.
With the mistakes he's made, it's close. I think it's sub 1, but low, like 102, I think is definitely on the cards for this kind of row. It's kind of insane to think about. But Tim did get a 101 like 2 weeks ago, so... Okay, so like also doing this clip here to get to the skull. He's in there.
So yeah, if you guys like what you're seeing and you want to try it out, please join the weekly races we are hosting every Saturday. It's very fun, and we usually hang out in voice chats, so it's very nice. So yeah, if you want to try bingo, feel free to join Saturday night bingo at 4 p.m. Eastern, and European Saturday night bingo. Wait, the other way around. European Saturday night bingo.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Saturday Night Bingo at 4 p.m. Eastern and American Saturday Night Bingo.
And yeah, so yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 Eastern.
Those are held on racetime.gg, but you can also find the races being posted in the OOT speedrunning Discord, which you can find very easily on speedrun.com/OOT.
Yeah, you won't be notified of the races happening, but you can give yourself the bingo role in the Discord by going to the roles channel. And then it will be explained there. And you get pinned whenever there's a bingo race happening. So something that Tim did here, which we didn't explain at the time, was a trickle entrance point glitch, whereby you basically change where you spawn into a room. So he opened the door, but you couldn't have a boost before he went through. And that's basically, doors will only close when you're a certain distance away from them. So if you hover boots, you don't walk as far, the door remains open. And then you can sort of stand in a certain position that will change where the game puts you when you load back in. And so he then voided out, and then the game loaded him, clipped out of bounds next to the door. And from there he could roll out of bounds, hover boots to get to the room on the other side, past the crawl space. You can also get past that by doing a weird shot with long shot, but it's a little bit trickier, and also you don't have long shot ever in bingo, really. Aside from certain water goals.
It's like really nuts that he's almost done.
Yeah.
Like really close to almost done.
I mean, Lake is also almost done.
Yeah,
They're both gonna sub 105, most likely. Actually, no, this block also takes a while. I think Lake's gonna get like a high 105, low 106. Tim is like very much on pace for like 104. 103 actually.
I can't imagine what it feels like to get a sub 107 and lose.
Imagine losing to Blank A.
By 2 minutes? Oh, Blank A abuse confirmed.
Oh boy.
Dude, last year, I went against Bono in the second round, and I lost by 10 minutes, and I got 113. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
And with that, Tim is done.
Yeah, 103.30 it looks like.
GG. Lake not far behind. Lake's gonna be done in about a minute or so. Lake also has one more skull left.
To the semifinals.
Yeah, so the semifinal. I'm gonna take a look at the bracket here. Because it's possible that our players will be facing off against each other in the semis.
Don't also the bracket. So Exodus is on the left side, and then Tim's on the right side.
Exodus will face the winner of Juke versus Tob, which is going to be a really sick
That's
match,
a nuts
by the way.
one. That's a nuts one. If you don't know, Juke and Tob are like the two best bingo players in the world, along with Exodus and Tim. Those four are the best bingo players in the world. So Juke and Tob going against each other is pretty nuts.
And then Tim will play the winner of Zanra v Link.
Yep. Also, it should be a pretty good match. They're about even in skill level, Zanra and Link. So that should also be a good one.
I lost to Zanra, so I'm hoping he wins the whole thing.
I beat Zanra, so don't worry.
And that's time.
And that's like 104.33, I think it was.
I think that's the best time that lost so far in the entire tournament.
I think pretty sure that's correct. And I also believe
104.30 loses.
I also believe that's a bingo PB for Lake. Because he posted a bingo PB like yesterday. That was a 106 something. So this row is kind of nuts.
If you want to watch the rest of the bingo tourney, Floosh, how do we do that?
So, if you want to be notified for the next race of the tournament, you can join the Discord of the tournament, which I think. Do you have the link?
I'll link it right now.
Nice. So yeah, you can just head to that Discord and get yourself the Notify restream role, which we usually have restreams done either by some of the entrants of the tournament or sometimes on Zelda speedruns. So if you want to watch more restreams, make sure to get that role in the bingo tournament Discord.
And that'll be it for Challenger Approaching this evening. And we'll throw to a quick break in a moment, and then after we'll have some more GQ hotfix that I'll announce in a second. But before I get to that, Greg, Floosh, any last minute thoughts?
Thanks for hosting this. It's cool to showcase bingo to a wider audience. So thanks ADEF and GDQ for having us on. I may not have played as well as I hope, but I'm happy to help showcase bingo to more people. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Floosh?
Yeah, I'm really glad to be part of this GDQ hotfix restream. It was quite amazing. So thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'll sort of close off by saying that bingo means a lot to me. Has been a large part of my life since I was literally 13.
Oh my god.
So uh, now in my mid 20s, I don't know. Bingo's been a large part of my life, and I'm very happy that it has been that way. And so I'm happy to try to showcase it to more people, get the word out that this is the sickest thing in speedrunning. It just is. Do bingos.
It's so cool.
You will love it.
Bingo's a lot of fun. It seems intimidating, but it's a lot of fun to learn new stuff and try roads you didn't try before.
Yeah.
And learn new things. It's so much fun.
Absolutely. And as always, you can find me at twitch.tv/ADF. I've also posted the other guys' Twitch links in the chat. All of us do bingo and lots of Ocarina of Time stuff. And really quick, just a couple announcements before we throw to the break. So after this, we have a 5-year anniversary special for Tales of Berseria, so don't miss that. That'll be hosted by our very own Richard, who is on tech for us this evening. And Flame Fatales is in 2 days, August 15th to the 21st, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern each day. Check out this event benefiting the Malala Fund. Go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info. And gamers, thank you so much for watching Challenger Approaching as always, and stick around for more amazing GDQ content. Stay safe, and please get vaccinated. Take care, gamers.